Fáilte rais go GAA beo, tá mí de barcí chuomh tránón in jobh don darach le mór den lá agus candas na cluichí táchtacha amána sin idir Chorcaigh agus Páirc. Chorcaigh na curtha srá faoi mar a hasan sé, blian úntaach a bhí com blian si carta an slí a thosaigh sé, ach an slí a chríochnig sé a Páirc an Chrócaigh I gluthe canis na héireann, well, is tránóna tragóidach a bhí ann das na ribbalúnatha.
Agus sin íon dúismhór chuan Liam Victory. Sheeran Ishkazí Healy scored Dasanach an seo agus scored Dasanach an seo. Mírúltach ó Patrick Horgan. Punch na turnish ag Barrett. Ishol. Oh, cool Iancock. Óta ag Shane Barrett na Corca. Full Horrive Kinula.
Is this all true, man? Or is it just bad news?
Agus score fáilte ag Andrew Ormond. Nó score as I héile. Sábhailta ag Collins agus Dagla McGrath. Sa gúil Conatil. John McGrath is just the goal. In McCartney. Oh, fáilte go Iancock ag Darren McCartney. Corca in is 7 pointí hir. Ag Lehan, bhíidir 6 pointe chun tosa. Throw McGrath, Collins, it's in the McGrath! Oh, cool Alan Bunter! Don Bikin the Uhuan, Ishil, Subradoran, Champini, the Hayden.
Some out-of-town boys been giving us hell. I got some bad news. Fading of a red, white, and blue.
Sean go Rob Downey and son, Kimi Connors of Egg, Corcaigh Tránóna in Jobh, agus iad géirí tús darafach a chur le séasúr nua. Páirc tá mar asúracha I máta a héin na stratha amána. Níos déanaí cluthe atá nua bhí beo ar aptíG cethir go dtí le déanaí an son is a Ciarí agus Russ Comáin sa fel agus Joseph an taction agus an cluthe omláin ag a fethe chuig chun a sé. Donal Grady agus Sarah O'Connelling de chórsaí amána, Donal thug mé tragóid is tragóid a bhí ann, is tubaist a bhí ann de Chorcaigh ach ré nua, séasúr nua, cad é den dóchas atá ag Chorcaigh inis?
Well, sort of roiig mé sin, Mike úsáidí Chorcaigh beidir an píosa fístépa sin mar spraga, I'd say níos a bhliain, but tús inis, you know, Ben O'Connor den nuaigh tactaisteach agus choirí na stratha hena féin. So beidh siad ag súil in uamh le bua. Sin do rud atá tastáil fiúháin muna bhfuil an taspántas thar mula berta nuaine mar sin de but just bua chun é chosú a rís ar an móthir ceart agus you know, masan go racha siad magalóir sa bhliain seo limnach. Corcaigh, Tipperdown an sons like sin buic móra sa I roiine héana agus you know, big test maithí Corcaigh sna cluichí sin.
Ní rimar Ben O'Connor an cuid is módas na sais frontliners mas féad le mé an term of béirla sin úsáid is ran na múan. So seo an céad rár atá ag golóir das na himróirí sin na dimmerigh le canis na héireann ar aon amáint ó chaileidir an ag Tipperdown. Like, ní bheith an slua a fanachtrúada, be si de curbrú ar ben agus ar a bhfurin le bua a áil ach begar a bheith feinach go point áirithe, nach meg?
Beg agus is tócha an iarna bhar bhí ann an irig ná Chorcaigh go mthuirim se. Bhúidir gachéanrad an tre craobh na mún agus seachsan 3 nó san sa tarna le bhíidir arás gon fearna rá. Mar son níl alachuid ahar le déanamh gé ní dólam, chuir leis an méid a bhí ann agus beidir duinú bertile mar a dúirtu a chuirta seach agus an panéal níos láidre bheith ige sócha agus é ag feachanta raig.
Okay, Ben O'Connor mar sin Donal, bhí sé gotsa mar imróir tá na stats go léir a thuigh suas ar an scáilán inis. Gachra dentige, 3 craobh na héireann buairteige le na Chaoimh, craobh na héireann buairteige le na chlub, craobh faoi fethe le Chaoimh. Just den chuirsíos ar ón méid aithne atá gotsa ar cad a thuaire sé go dtí baintse na Gorcaí a chumléana.
Well, you know, níl sé ró ard, nó níl sé ró héagarte nó ró fuair, but tá cruí sa bhar, you know, agus an rud a thuairigh sé ná Caidán. Sinú rud le Benagóní, right, Caidán, you know, olivú physiciúla, olivú san amáint agus mar sinda, agus cumála sin nóair a héan túmach chun búcant. Sinú rud is táchtaí agus sinú rud a bhain le Benagóní agus sinú thuairigh sé raig masan.
Okay, all right. Well, bhí focail le Brian mar sin leis an meis fanisteoir ribh go gasú Corcaigh agus Páirc ar a chéile.
Last year, the lads didn't fare as well, so we're not going to have too many changes. Why change something that was working for most days last year? So we have a few little tweaks here and there ourselves, but we'll see them as the league games go ahead.
Division 1, even with a full strength, is going to be difficult, you know, so we know the task that's ahead of us. It's not something we're going to be using as an excuse, you know. It's the pre-season has gone well for us, the Munster League has gone well for us, got the blood, some young fellas, really looking forward to seeing these young fellas here today now, mixed in with a nice bit of experience as well, so yeah, we know it's going to be a big task with full strength or missing a few.
We want to win every match, and we're out with a strong team, and that's the way we'll be going every day. We'll be putting out the team that's performing at training, and lucky for these 15, they're the first fellas that we picked on training for the last few months.
We're still a fairly big panel because the Ballygunner lads will only be back to us next week, hopefully. So, you know, we still have a big, strong panel. And the hardest job now will be cutting it down and getting rid of fellas, you know, and telling fellas that they're no longer on the panel. But that's just part and parcel of the job for us.
The Peter Queely, I mean, ní bheith sé éasca I réachar do Fortláirge, Ballygunner in Aston mar a dúirte son. Hána siad tús ó rainn na hain bí a bhfuil an buile go meisi de fila díreach treis séasúr amháin?
Tá an buile ón is tócha agus ag feachan ar an bhirn tá róna ige nómh tá glór deisna tucha de imróí nuga fethe tucha isteach Daniel Lawler mar hopla Conor Keane sa chúna eile agus mar son le muintir bhile bhí Conor ag teachtar neis is tócha beag cuman níos láidir de réir chéile.
É sin ráite dó Donald Bavral a Peter Queely tacht agus dearan go raibh target ige ar an gluithe seo tuigeann sé go bhfuil an brú ar Corcaigh ní léon súil le Portláirge déna an irid san leis mud an gan dé be sé le a gáfaointe é sin ráite inniuh.
Well, big sé lorug, but ní dólam go bhaig sé mar tá Corcaigh an a leidir nómh agus pic sí sanna lorug an dáfaointe cumá mar an céad cluiche sa bhaile gcóí le banistíocht nua maig an téanrad is táchtaí ná just an céad cluiche a bhuacan beag sé sinnig beag brúar ó héamh na slúide, but sinanad an úlhín agus sinanad be bheith ón de Corcaigh gnúh.
All right, well tá slú a mór a bailúisteach so den géad chléidir Corcaigh agus Portláirge tránón agus tá na fórna ag Brian Tyres. Mar sin so tá dacrochtaí a going le fáil trí go bríon an son achas tólam go bhfuil dehanúir den ar an na hosaigh cluiche canis a hair an tosú le Corcaigh an so tránóna inniuh agus Donald tá go leor taithí ag an bhforann seo ach ag an am céanna cad mí eile na himróí nua seo a bheith tastáil ó Corcaigh le dul céim níos fidir ná mar dhéanadú an ára.
And Vernon, you know, Darrow Leary, Tactic Stock, Michelle, Kinakan, and Biolri, and Shinwar, Gassilogs, Fuiche, Craven, Heron Law, I guess Farmore Lider, I guess Donnoy, Becky, they Glora Couple, Dinner Hoos, Natossa, William Buckley of the treaty, Stoker, Tasha Sticks a Cunha, the rare and ever, but Becky Mo, better a tree in Lawrence, and I got Donnoy, Decky, Dalton, Imish Stockmar, ever a cardio, Degana, Imrin Chair, and Glihan. All right,
Camitsul, Gomara, Portláirge, agus a Sullivan, Cahar, a Tossula, Portláirge, and Yovatoi, Gimmerton, Gaydor, Satra, in a mask. Iverado, Daniel Lawler and Sunfar de la Salle. Ishtiga Lorna Parker beg Dara Lyons agus Derta Linga meg iver a Tridiag. Sean Mackey a Dridam Shearer draw Lorna Parker. James Power agus Ruben Haller in the Masna Dosa Helcoma. Agus Shan Signal lads Ogasha a Taig Immerton Gaydor le Curlish and Tahi a Taig Grantas name Roriella.
Shindir Galore Nasnev Taig de Borca Stephen Bennett agus Lehéidach. Deisiúcháil an óbh lábhachar in áirde agus taithí agáil agus lehéad comá agus beag Peter Queely agsúla sort haspántas ó nómh.
Yeah, na himróí sin Donald le Corcaigh tháinig tríd an choras sin faoi fethe mar hampla Darrow Leary, Brian Roach agus William Buckley na lads seo. Seansan is chun nach bhfuil an lábhachar suas agus a bheith mar na cinnerí don táhachaí atá Corcaigh.
Yeah, agus an rud is táchtaí Mike ná inúmh tá siad ag Tactic Stock agus tá timpeall denúir you know, imróí síinte ló agus sin an rud is fearr, nó bhíonn sais you know, cnúsach maith do ghoine maithe le taithí den túiristeach na lads óga agus tá seansa chun son sais dulróig agus díl an bhrúra agus an rud is táchtaí le lads nuaig tasú chumáir an brú uatha agus túir seansdóibh Bitter go trí clé nó mar sin de dros nach diggin siad, you know, tá faoi bhrú mai dhéanaan siad botún.
Cap mí eolar an rud seo curracha le bhaintear Corcaigh ag léthe canis na hÉireann. Sais gur titamas a chéile a bhí an agus gur raibh aspa canasíocht ann agus cad is féad leis na himróí óga seo agus na himróí le taithí tógant ón calúin sin.
Well, it's talk imhúrim sin Mike agus you know, ní dólam go raibh Corcaigh go maith an lá sin ón sa céad le. ní bhána chuin faoin dara agus an rud atá gceist dán inis tá sicólí nua stíga cágus mar sin, bud an rud a thugann muíon dút ná taispáinte sí agus má thosaíon Corcaigh go maithanómh má héann si go más is rá agus an sin ag dul isteach go dtí créamh na mún, má aon siad búna agus mar sin de chuin si chuidir si de sísa sin ar just look dó lá.
Carcha leir le stolan go bhfuil cuasaí deisithe in áda staire, ribh sin ar an a bhíon.
Se mar sin tá slua mór mílteach takeisteach go supervalue Páirc Chaoimh sa Tránóna an chéad chluthe sa bhliain nua de Corcaigh agus tá fortláirige Johnny Murphy a bheith mar réiteúr sa Tránóna agus fá péir for na bhadísláide Corcaigh ná mar a gceist an déisiigh ach mór a fáirt na imar gan náta imrítar an chluthe agus níor fá péir. Pescéile Tránóna go háling ar fad ní réon fógaí le ceart a chuirigh isteach ar éon drom. Jamie Byrne agus ríist réamhherte gan aimseoch sin cúinson agus tá Sean Walsh an 10 tosaí go bháin a thosaigh go gcuine Corcaigh sa chréibh nurig a tosna bhainniuh tá sé sin méisteach mar lán tasach. Diarmaid Healy mar sin a ríist fíor sceoch Declan Dalton únad sa miúil de siúd agus tá sé a túirt fens brecan son man sé méthir chlé dír a chláisteigh den gúile an chéad scór de Corcaigh. Mar sin beise sa miúil sin chunas mar a bheith ag Declan Dalton an sonnasteig. Brian Hayes níl sé ag imar Tránóna, William Buckley chum afir trídiú beagsúla a chimiad ar siúd a ceann mór gríomh fad ag Billy Nolan agus portláirige curtha ar an únsaí an son aige facht ag Rob Downey. E pléas go machchan san tá pantáiste thuirte an réiteúir an son don leachúlaí láir gan dát capta nua ag Corcaigh imlíana Dara Fitzgibbon. Chaoimh smachta go deas fuair sin bar buile díanach an council bult isteach tá san leis an chóngrach agus tá sé ar a guma chéanna thar sé drastáin. Mar sin Corcaigh soccer síos go lua an sa. Mar sin tá Johnny Murphy gléich an sa ar Jamie Byrne stoilm go bheith siúd a thugann buile díanach de Shane Barrett agus tá no Dara Lyons be ceart amrá tá rowa a gáilt ag Lyons. Búige Corcaigh hena hennig sa fell be ceart dúrach san spragar breise das de hemánaithe. Ceann mór gríomh fad eile an trosa tóca ag Jamie Byrne. Caite siar an sa an ceann sa ag well an ceann san tite garad ag Sean Mackey. Corcaigh ach ebrú amach. Brian Roach. A bhí sa chréibh luan ar rigach a chail sé a unad. Peter Quayle a deireadh go chur na lí ar an muir líne gur leis na déisiigh an ceann san Conor Keenan san Berto de la Salsa na cúnaí Daniel Lawler sa chún eile agus tá thosa sé siúd ar Declan Dalton ach Berto tá fálam na céir de cinnte. Nes tá san go maithe ag portláirige díanta go deas ag Dara Lyons a 40 an fellis an dahí Jamie Byrne sin ceann mór grío lár na Páirce agus anna cheann chun na déisiigh a chur ar a socracht. Well an bheirt Lord Parkinson is sní go deas le na chéile. Patrick Collins gafa garad agus an son an clíháin suas ruúthar deas aige Diarmaid Healy agus anna chlichte ach da bhí tarach dianta ar a ghansaí an son. agus beag deis agus gan dát ceannas na ceisna táile réiteach a Cork ná cé bheith go mun na bucan na saoire in Iamish Patrick Horgan ré nua glan gan dát. Jack Fagan filte fannéal agus in fortláirge im líana a chun dóibh hawl sé Alan Connolly is túisce atá amón na bucan na saoire. Sin fearna Carnegie ní hén ceannas fusa ach tá sé sásta go maiile sin hénig agus trí céine inis chláirthe Corcaigh crinnes anna bhas na neomtí lutha. Billy Nolan gafa garad, hosting Nolan gach clothe críomh das the déise an nuidig. Nuasan san Downey a coola sheer. Sean O'Donoghue last year done Trussan. Cormac O'Brien. Deis get Cormac O'Brien, agus get Darrow O'Leary and Lon Chully, the Levaim Lua in a Manisteach, Dalton. Take Machanson, Bourtige, erased. O Sichloon Sheer, Tossan, Leshavil, Dirk Lashtik, and Goyle, half-rated and Scott, I got not to say. Well, has point Henny go Lua and Son, agus erased, Tasha, Nietzschef nach the Stigmars Brook. A fána icht. Martian Billy Nolan, Gaffa Trasna, Green, Shastan Howlandson, and that can the Howan, Mark Coleman, Fairvroo, agus Brew Mahanson, the guest of Daishik, agus get Ruben Halloran Gahari he. Ach tá siad gaun goma Hahees na Tussa he. William Buckley-nish, if he roused the Pelidori, the Bars, and Lord noch a Dollistechan sa, and Kid Chlahasage Buckley, agus and Kid Fight the Sahalesh Vachtige.
Annie Yass and Shin o William Buckley agus Shin on Caharu Coolin and Nation Lean along to Saction to she the bugger food fod na Páirc Trasna na Páirc Shears in here Annie Acker Lawler agus Keen Fanacht low so Annie Yass Chaoimh down to go Cork Gadisha.
Shot fight rota Nish's Dasta Vello Mochel.
Vierman Burger in the creek new.
Shot the Stachanson, Nilo Leary, of Risha Nuas. Later could ask to get Downey, agus ta enod. Cousin to Corcaigh hard of a larger, agus nivig Faka Yale Bogako. Nish Martian reached Oberchroig and Sonnestig again. Sean Mackey atá here Marvia Hoor against the line the Shane Barrett and Tussa good to stay on Crinnis. So Tussa again Corcaigh.
Yeah, and he don't go counter bick or referee look August or Shane Barrett Lorna in Anacudry. Annie Acker na Coola Gahara Lacoola Felar Port Lariga Fnachlan Lena Vermer Tashi de Boga Knockot Shane Barrett on Ekala Gadisha Fresh.
Shagan dot Vin sort so Crinishikla Canish Ireland and a Gunyan Clark Couple of Dina in a cost and Yom Tiloha. Machmara Sol doing her fad. And Dachla Canish and Derek Kailtaka Agus Shine on the Clochas Mo or Fidreen Ben O'Connor. Downey Gahaligish Dachni Healy and so Garnang and Ghairda. On Shach to score.
Yeah, because Shin and Cooey gooked in an ish on Cheshire, a Husnix and Hussa to score all a Hannafin like Tashuto Creta Marhus, August Dearmid Healy, Vimiana Hoke, Election Orig, August Arish Fuiche, Pucks Air, Kupla Lamedo Hin, August Count on Nimmert fight again ish.
Downey a Fevrish Gounsa, Bediger Lemach Stachsa Draum and Sunner, Fachte again Ferna Blarnen, Mark Coleman, Sugary Ferchna Gona Billery, Darrow Leary, Avoid Crave the Hand Fui Fehelia Corcaigh. Couldn't shade of Lint o Hininish, Tommy O'Connell, Ferrella Avege, Dierig Gach, Desh, a Gort Lilling the Straha, Timo Mahoney, agus Lady Brian Hayes, Kieran Joyce, Sus, Fachtako, Tasha the Montrainola, Trastan Saganish, Gri Fair Valley the Sagart, Shane Bennett, Guma Stakula, Kunsmara, I guess the Tusse, Bashte, Ni Lochtofa, on the Rucht, Kegwilche, Overeen Bjog, or Heaven the Live Clay.
Yeah, me and Shin, Mar Capasgrove Shin, a dull Heron Trasnon or Vulture or Dusok, the Bennett's or Fad, to she'd heard of a crying, as come a call with you, the Gimmert.
Martian
yeah.
One of the attack the Stach, Anna Lua, Agus Joe Boot, attack a Stach, Agus his own Gulligan a Joe, Agus Charlie Treen, Tresh Cart the Bui, a Galt the Hennig, Fargun Manistrach Ball in the Courte. Seeking the Hulfach to get Charlie Treen is Ran the Moon. Before the Durim, Gemach, couple of counties on the Tastal enough. Nish Martian, Bult gesteach go deasige Mackie well, Cormac O'Brien, reached William Buckley, Fánaíocht, agus a bhádra bhog Chorcaig ní léing in town, and then áit fuid na Páirc, agus tá scóir le fachtaige Barrett.
Yeah, and Dara County Barrett and Chin agus reach on Cork High Port Larigan Chuff Láthir tá an trúr taobh so Mackie Power agus Treen tá siad an a congrucht an cool agus tá gach nella titamach sort Lorna Park so sin an fág raibh go lína le cool Corkig sort sita lo héin an sin orinthe caigan on Cork High an Shelva dul isteach dul bhd níos fuide.
Hochtas a hochtaige Corkig, trícinn cruthe ag esta déisig. Ach tá na builí fada san an bocamach. An nuas lína le chúil Corcaí níl sún seáil dá líad. A gáiltige Port Lariga asta san agus seachún Barrett éis. Nae san éis ag Corcaig.
Éis leid sin an tríú ceann ó nimmart hena féin in néan ó méid saolige sin ó Shane Barrett tá sé caiilte món sin caiilte ag lína le chúil Port Lariga ha rá agus ní féidir lígan dó nu éan ó thusa Corcaig é ágáil á fechar sin.
Se mar a dúirt an lína le chúil sin scún scan an uachtar. Agus an ceansan a gehílí tá na cúnaí agus na clíháine muinteach ach tá captain Port Lariga Conor Prunty dírig an dehampla húirt agus an chadéile ag ríos a beagán.
Yeah, agus an rud an Cork High Port Lariga fechar sin mar goáil san éiro Downey a rís. An Cork High ag Port Lariga fé láthir dus na pucan amach fada seo. In ná rire ní hiige mé mar ní bhétha sort ní dína múra iad a gamas an éir an lína le hosach so múl. Oh, fechar sin!
Well, tá tú breag na hiwochan in son agus sin pasan na ias isteach sa spás an son. An ó byrr a gédal síos ag Sean Walsh agus tá seansan sa seo chuilin is Charlie Treen. Caite siar ag siút agus begdaisin sa deis ag Joe Booth ach búilte fé dhéanit ag Joe agus búilte ar fór ílige.
Well, an rudin sin a haváil mé stócha tá Sean Welsh is stigar rimmel na cearn óig a céig go liver a dehar a grim. So bin an céig a beidir gúil sé gíir eisian a bhaint amach cai siad bheith níos fearr. Leis an Cork High sin.
Corcaig a réist a dáile an clitar go neafaiseach ar chéileach patúnaige Cormac O'Brien nes Dara Lyons a túirt fest scóir a deirge bhíseach tá brúr Niall O'Leary agus an fearcúine le Sean O'Donoghue ír chapta an eile agus tá tarachar chinnarí stan bhfuil cúigar ír chapta an son ag Corcaig well chur fá háirní beidir san áire tá sé siúd ar a mínse ach beag fuileach cabhrach ag Dara Fitzgibbon. Nes an rúthir díanta ag Brian Roach Alan Connolly chomach céanna ach an ceansan méthomha ar Corcaig.
Yeah, Annie Acker, pass mar sin, Annie Acker hosí smach tú, so bin beidir an céad sort dro fasa on na coola dreis corristeach finger on mar godí seo tá siad firfa, like firfa, passing na há dulisteach agus na scórne.
I will take a grown and corn agus Ben O'Connor.
Yeah.
Go meg rudí níos déine ní bhaint sa chraibh ach sa tra chomach céanna. Iarla Daly ón Lismór ach a rééis ní san Harmola Bert agus Connolly a vídeor ag Shelva Gáiltear dúis búilte trastan san goí Declan Dalton an have the live a clé faoi ró have the live edition bouta sa trí cínig a siút.
Annie as an sin ó Declan Dalton ar a héh yes de caiise jens sort lav over a héh clé stachar a héh yes ar an trasnán céad fan géad crunne suig godí seo agus an slí gach coolín difriúil óna chéile.
Cormac O'Brien san Éireann. Well, neadar cé tá leanún tíar mit héalaí bhfuil éing a leanún beidir sní an aib an scéal céanna ag Barrett tá sé trí sé chuir ar fóraíl a bhfuil an chéad ceann ar fóraíl éon a gháinú mutí a caite ach fich ar chlár a scóir.
Yeah, dehan oige héin like caiig duine éigent like Mark Fitzgerald duine éigent caiig sé Shane Barrett a bharcáil.
Conor Keane chalís díanta siúd agus is trethir Conor le Dara I bhí ar na miniúr an irig seachtó fáin géad Shelva ag Corcaig agus tuigeann Peter Queally na deacrachtaí atá. Bhí sé sa miúil dúirt go meach leadna bhaile bhí gan ar hnáis fécheann seachtaine. Nadar.
Yeah, well, viidir a kilúr ar feig seachtaine. So yeah, stóch an tacan sciúin beidh siad ar eise tréanáil. Ach neadar céin crutah ag ortha.
Búirteach an san agus a tarach san air bhí Sean Walsh agus Gúla mór Grain san ag a néiseach sála go deas ag Collins. Chnic sé ceann tacht anna dhéanach ar fad.
Yeah, mar I thug sé slap ceart an slitter an sin Sean Welsh agus cé go raibh sé sort bheitha sort asúla go go Savalach and cool bar Collins sin a fan go vec with show yen Welsh Rud Cart cap him mar tá cool a tastalu go gair agus go lua ach yeah Saval ma agus ri Chancello and Shaska Kuigach just to have Shane Barrett and show like a fake and the mach on out na ha me the fake and the news or in Glehan show like so Shane Barrett to dul mach Lorna Park to dul Trasna and Lalina show Royer Gunter and show Reach you gone in Lorna ach look vi jobla den of Collins Yenche ach Neil Mark Fitzgerald few Lanoon Tosh Aaron ish fell ach tá Mark Fitzgerald fanach Lornach sorter and Dahda Kuig or in slot or Dahda Kuig slot ach Neil Shaw Lanoon Kaig dinna egg and Barrett Lanoon mar dinnig sé Christos o Yenovig a Hannafin but big Shanice Massa
No de fé sé voor Ruben Halloran fer de Sal Leling achtish ra amon in the moon tá sé tastal gotoche agus tá chun hein dientet san de leis Johnson
Yeah, on the aso Ruben and Chin, the Arish by Gach score it has all, but Kaishi Kupla Schlitter Vuk and Danish on Buckamak Shomer Helmpla.
A dull dive son Yenov, Jara Fitzgibbon, Chige Henigan Council, Fitzgerald Tachtrasna, Agus Christensen, Shelev came out against the Dashig, Jeremy Barron, Fuila Hamage, Casa, Agus Mark Hogant, Patrick Collins. The Gadaska shoot, and immediately on the top party of Sullivan. O chumman an ahar nail a bhí faoi íste Cork ag bhlinch McCarran. I dtír ag brú chur Patrick Collins. Ach tá Colánach hawn le tamil de bhlintanis. Isteach ar Grí Dalton. Well, Shanson le Cork ag tóca ag Brian Roach agus bhí chearcanach scóran sa Nílson úntach agus is a héananis fear a hása.
Yeah, bhí me díra chun é scríb síos an sin an séú duine Cheshire as Cheshire ach Eforilo Brian Roach mí ach a ríis Coimmert úntach ó Corkig.
Niall O'Leary Techtonson, a dulsan na meichla Charlie Treen. Shane Barrett siúgan in the 40 Club Coleman. Gadasar Vassan chamáinige Brian Roach. A ríis Feidan Towman son a bhíige Shane Barrett. Cuasaí a Vass agus sé Buckley. Chuman bara na fatá buinteach aige. Obair bhain trusan mátá aige Daniel Lawler. Trúr istóla marsina ó de Sal atá mithechan Páirc tá hóna agus na Déisig.
Fé láthar an seo bhríon a féchan den nuas rééis well an istá Jamie Barron trééis risúas ach níor bhach Bert ag Port Lariga taobhstig de lá Corkig Downey agus Bert eile seasamh séir le héin.
Sé an Green Grafford Orson diagur se go bhchail. They picked your Dassenson, another munition the Parpé amach. Mark Coleman, Trastan Sogan in the 40. Bert Fockerstig, Emil Choule get Tossa for Lord Gach on the Vele. Ta Dalton the Fanicht Le Hefort. Reached Cooley, Cornach on Son again, Ro Nafisher Fat Dalton. Agus an red air if I knew no tall again.
Yeah, go hauling and Chinnery shot Dalton like the Hashbonche on skill, agus an Yart and Chin, agus an Chinna Crinnis Coma, agus an Tiswing or Fad, go puck to Creta Ger and Schlitter, agus Tasha Harva crying Chinna Caru, Coolin on Immer Tanafane.
On Ruan Morsha Billy Nolan, Tan Council Schultz to Gadas, Todd Baron, Buckeye Bader, and Master Dussaheko, Vahler the Egdich came out to Tool the Stig, Tacht Tavamo, the Rob Downey, agus Anna Feint, Anna player Fad, Achas Lair and Tahianson.
Yeah, Anna Hain Blin or winning to a mark and Dinny Cart, because you're hugging to and past Carto, Maraha, Leru, and Corkig fell off her, right as na passing it, as you bugnock doyenta, Ida Cussant, Gahar in the passing it, Dullish Docker, Declan Dalton.
Nishta Teshin so get Daniel Lawler, and Ferma Fachte, get Brian Roach or shoot. Shugri, Sean O'Donoghue. Nation Cooley, Dunson, Chance, Berham, Hudson, or Connor Keane, Turishe Fechoda Nearning, Estachen Sagadi Conley, Sinead Reenagool gone out, Agatha Cole Fachte, again Corkig.
Well, Arish, Ultako, Declan Dalton, pass on the asset, Prabo, Sakor, Bader Grimmershe, come on, and Cooley and Shofech, and Schliger, yeah, Klishducht, August Klassicht, Bader Gerfaula, Shinnock, pass, Sort, Osanganach, agus Conley, BJ Goni, or Imel Cairnog, or Hurna Gould, Mark Fitzgerald, Tavir, Dolshindi, or Chancer Beg, Billy Nolan.
Cork on the Hamilton, Rob Downey and son, August Jamie Barron, both the son, Irene Le Barron, a brew Kayla Cork, well, Erve Gons, Boy, Shachtason, Lacht Goma, Erchley, August or Forey. Nish reached, took on a happy to get Patrick Collins. William Buckley, Cúig Véadras, Seaca ón Spruch, Council Búilte Tá vertistig a fáile go géar sin ach eichlé agus fórail Kerriking fórail nisha.
Yeah, Kai Port Lordy dulling lecklish and Immerton show go topic mar like nimid fein o stick go fall Lil non fanakla tussa Corky or Aker. Neither will listen Cohen Kate or Merkel Kate touch their foot fought in the heart and show.
Trustagly Cormac O'Brien and so. Brian Roach, Reach agus an Vouta saw, Shane Barrett Niach Niall O'Leary, Stachgly Cormac Reach, Cormac O'Brien Valanoa Handroma, well the Velshed in the Bert, Fogach Dalton amo, ach Chaoimh sa Chaoimh. Trustagly Fitzgibbon, well we didn't the Bert down, the passage in Bader Shield for Das the Creeve, and counting again Dara Fitzgibbon, Tosson Elliott to Marsco.
Yeah, a reach na pass na Dullistach agus a Dullo Gwynna go dinne agus a chin Bader knock pass Kate von Gade and Chinnock, you know, Dairig le Dara Fitzgibbon, ach a vada number ka amega.
Well, in Federation, le Portlarga any end of the half saw over Physiculach and Sonach, Tasson Tarkalor, Deshan saw better again. Sean Mackey, ach shoot Cura da Williamson, Ta Cornish, Tan Vertistig, gemacht, getreivd de live Desche, und Schitterme, Dierigestach, kan dinne na Jorion, Osterdeschig, en de Deschig, je nog een lischen. Martin Buckley reached, Toketsin, Erse, Declan Dalton. Under the ele, a tier goal, the Fortlarige, and Council again, William Buckley, got haul in your foot.
Yeah, because Captain Gurbe Shin Bader and Carew score an ish. Go with Declan Dalton, Trace, Passa, or good dinner. On the ass. Now, look, Arish, Toshik Shassav Lesh Hain, Kata of Ercol, Kata Naklesh, Crinis, like Dierker and Dave Lena, like on the ass, and you know, William Buckley, because look, Aruella, Dante, Port Lariga, Hannafay, and Brian Lynch.
Tja, Daniel Lawler, Pintamach, Hassanim Resountanu, Leshe, Brian Lynch, Augusta, the lad, the Sonish, or Gahabistach. Agus Kashit on fód the Hasav Ishli Egentach.
Yeah, Ani Yakar Dina Nuan or Hagen do Suez going to Agus Free Akarish just a number of brew Amadi Door into fresh and just roll laugh.
Neshachun Healy, Agus the Enishuda and Garrod, or none of Son and Vertian to get. Gandau Tagalo Corte again Portaliga Cork Daily tied the Burka Project Fitzgerald, Jack Prendergast, Patrick Coven, Stephen Bennett, Kieran Bennett. Listele hard if it's an unusual class value of gunner.
Yeah, August Jack Fagan, Imaho and Bark, fresh and Tavish Dig the Coupla no made. Ani Acker and the lads knew a talk to stock going foreign co like Lishan made Tahi High the lads of Cork can show to foreign on a lauder and on co. August on Rodella top pointer like Tashidagiri pointer or August talk to Cormac go Ben O'Connor August Duntier.
Well go Ben O'Connor go hard head hearing is fellow to Van Deer needs to Savlian Achalard the Horde, Tachina or Kraken, and an Illuchina Brian Roach, or Gunna Dussadina, a Vegadirik, on Art Crevishin of Wuchtant Hernash. Nish, Tassa, better Lashtig the Rain Villy Nolan. But Stach again, Agus Tooling to Stig, and I can Hool. Dan O'Leary, a chudden live and Ardenson, Shauna Danu, a Cork Lebert. Nish and Countess Clista Sugary Dara Lions. Well, we lahans again Darach the Huchestach, so Tranglum on Mädchen Rote, ta fight to facht again, Agus is Count Mahe.
Yeah, Shin Meal or Nice Fair Reach, so good day to Stockady and Coon, Agus Chingo Nuskli and Barn, and Chingo Dara Lions, Agus pass on Yas, Kappas Maradur to Hain, Greven Chance Imaha. Jenshin score Vodney's Dakra, Arish, Ani Asso, Dara Lions, Meal or Nice Fair Port Lariga.
Well, the Gaidosha Prini Saviga, that's the Dashik Ta, Limnach Kosavale, again Shachten and Eval, Savalian Son, Solomek Brisha Kaikisha, a car, Madla Corkig, and Galev Aspile and Technichuna, Vegagunis, Solimpio, RGA Pio, Agus Tiberdorn and Son, Savalia, Agus Beg, Kinach Deal, and the Tiki edition. Idun Darling, Mark Coleman, Agus and Council Board to Traston Hool, Agus Erfori again. Marshall Billy Nolan, Hunting Council of Woola, Istach, John Lena Law Tussig, Dara Leary, Tacht, well, Nether Collation Son, few Solobronach, an Poxire ach penny amach a vegin schlitter de tacht.
Bhí mé dtíreach chun rá bhí sin níos fearr ó Billy Nolan mar an slígur imríidir é sin go raibh sé an andul thar lá lína Corcaigh agus beag ortha tairt fé sin a bhd níos minic í. Is tócha bhí Charlie Tree na géirí an Clas Kenneth í an Declan Dalton cúpla na méid bhí sé géirí a dhéanamh ach foul an sin.
Charlie Tree tá craibh na hair na gesúd sa líróid láimhe. Agus is fear ildánach é ach tógann sé tamil a réinge sa cruisteach ag an levéalsa. Nis Patrick Collins, Dalton mar sprucastig. Bertan na chuinn son agus prisin titar fachta ge Conor Prunty. Nis tá gortútála de Declan Dalton. Fice ag an réitóirin sa.
Captain Greve Declan a tairt amach den réitó go Johnny Murphy an sin freisin bhí sé well begar an Páirc ágáil and is tócha mar eolar an glugad. Captain Goril sé rága bhór sé buile sa ceann ar tháinig nar bhí an slitter i Turlingt.
Chénacín de faointí ag é seo. Nis beag seansan sogann fiochan teir. Caiimar an a fecha puoin well se bhí istigh féin smig a bhí cumán an chosantóra an son Iarla Daly. Penny lá fris goma de bhaine Conor caigraf sé féh leis an lása le fada gan dát bhí chluí is ra amán an na múnacha chaidir gonne limníon chiadaíthe agus bhóidir ar chunta na chláir an son ach mar bhí agus na leid na híos na leid na seanna bhunathe sé seo an chiad lámó a go leir bhacha. Is an council tóca go deas agus beceart go meach scór an sa agus tága dain féinnig ag Rúben Halloran.
Agus a rís níos fearr mar a cnicimar like bhí cóimar de dul gona go duine dúsáidir a Billy Nolan níos fearr agus gúil siad an dul thar lína lechúil Corcaigh. Sin an rud go gá si déanamh níos minicí ach seansig Diarmaid Healy an is lárach.
Se agus tá féinte fachta ge siúd fear leis sin gháichanna sa chéile isige ach well mar dúr mar cúpla páta tá suir sin na Páirc le fíringe.
Ag sin an tríú cúlín smachta go háling an sin ag Diarmaid Healy ach sin an tríú ceann a rís gan breúar beir níl dinar behan ac leis fiú chun placáilú thuáilú faici inamher.
Se chun Mark Fitzgerald. Trasta gní Darragh Lyons tá Fitzgerald treis leanúin teir agus gaffaid leistigh inis fear Declan Dalton agus Niall O'Leary an Cork cumán ag Niall O'Leary an son. Lehans fós ag Portlair ag isteach le Downey de Armór tá na scinan a go díal ag fearan gleanna agus bhfuil tá san tomáte dheis go Darragh Fitzgibbon agus go maithir dheis. Tá go maith tóca cruaig tapig can éhan dá a dearfa be go leor le rá agus le sacrú ag Peter Coyley ag an miseach tá Walsh léirú comisiún san istigh san air agus tá Poxire búirte an son aige.
Yeah, agus a rís like a dul thar lína lechúil Corcaigh like tear haar Rob Downey, tear haar Cormac O'Brien, like ná táir seanstómh an slitter bhúcan san air mar bhíad ar dinamh feig, don céad beidir cúig na mé déag, agus tá sé feice going beidir tríú ceire uair an isis fel láthair ar fin drá seo. Tá Portlair gan anna a bhúcan taobh istigh, ach níl siad an na lads istigh a bhaint amach minic go leor.
Tá sé le Rúben Halloran agus ní bheith dacreachta líad an saige. Stunning will look scorner fad get Cork Shachas print off Fox air on nummert. Few dear fag gemach pocken the Sarah and Yale against the Cossentori. I need a town and no inclination.
No, Neil Congar Color Neil just in your act Ossel the Natussa Raker like Nifedlo Lava Lager the Ganza and a breach the flack like on a quit this the scorner to Winter Court the Tussa Corky Shassov Connie de Vula.
Brishena token son agus top Brian Roach a Ross Stachan zone Huin. Well, Tasha Staka and Wilson son again Mark Fitzgerald Pokenica there's Sir Johnny Murphy agus Gioig Fitzgerald leis beidir a chárta an sa.
Ceapascrib sin taobh amó ach fan go bheiceamid.
Well, bhíonn dá láimh sin teach aige Johnny Murphy.
Lárach, yeah.
Nis beidir go bhfuil sé chuin machnamh agus ábhachnamh bhíanamh ar seo. Dianta go maith aige Diarmaid Healy ar dúis agus an Congar chun a chúil de Harlan chaléisiach an lasmo fearna is réiste seo. De hit sé leistigh ach bhíonn teanga bháil. Bhí sé beagán leanúnach diaad fear go déanamh an dálaí.
Ach réiste dhéan Brian Roach go maith an sin mar rise trasnar Mark Fitzgerald cárta dubh fáilte Mark Fitzgerald.
Pokéidecha agus an cárta dubh an éanacht agus well tá Portlairige an numar na hamiléise ar fadanis.
Well, dhéan sé go maith an seo féach Then Og. You know, Caig on Schläger Ray Brian Roach and Chin. You see Caig Mark Fitzgerald and Kinna Yenov. Will check on Squeala Leshnu, will check on Tangval the high second Yenov. Margaret Ray Brian Roach Trasna era Aig Anna Clishton Chin Augustinish.
Declan Dalton, the Vimar Hulbarde in the Oige. Farewell Puck Anna Kruiger Fadige. Oh, Stachs of Hornick or Holland or Fads. Do Kurdiganish. I guess look Lanta Horka Briasasta.
Yeah, Hannah Caro, Declan Dalton, like his faker Shaw. Oh, shots are big, Billy Nolan. Who's a Cunha or Var? Oh, to Gamadden, Mamon, the Brisky.
It's a Higshe. Nesh Martian Porton Wilson, Sean Walsh, a guitar, Trina Kennedy Portugal Walsh, Honey Carter, Kenafel and Nirach, they're dead here, Ach, Lachis, Matash and Machin Hennig, Patrick Collins and Ish, and Wilson, Sir Shane Barrett. Anna Fokamach, vi Barrett, Idervert, Sugary Tommy O'Connell. Fair vanished in the corner, Derek A. Lou and son, Hennig Agustara Lions, better thought Tassie Bouty.
Yeah, August. Tommy Aha, Kuhn Galore, Gadi Shaw, Gumperodlish, lads, Impeler, Job I Yenavig, Cark Galore, like just stuck right in our hero, oh, Corkig, vi sort of Sula, Grave Shock and Torlu, now Capas go make Port Largo, Bugandi, Nice Fargs, Nice Congaree, Gaharis, Nakula, Higgis go made his favourite Natusa, like Brian Roach, Shane Barrett, Dermot Healy, William Buckley, Declan Dalton, Alan Connolly, Tashi the Gimmer, Dasa Gracken Failahar, like come a heart of it, Achilles or her.
Coulson the Gallon Connolly, the Tushki Brain, Cool is Fehege, and Yanzi Horkey.
Anna Fain.
Among the Buck on the Sarah and Council Meher Yesh. Agus 4 reel. So ta Shakin 4 reel Koch, do a Kudia Clara, Janisha, Huinum to Trucha Anna Other Fad, the Lochland to Fort Loriga Saturnala. Muru Dagan Aharu. Rob Downianish. Machansa, Marvel Coleman. Shin over Nisavar get Port Loriga, well, V. Bully Bugger and Gavar and son. Vimmer Kainter and Connolly and son, Agus Kevachamon the Buck and Sarah Vach Rogut, Declan Dalton. Nach Bedig will Ben O'Connor fight Ben Cunningham Choma, Mac Jar, a ta Gorta Fellaher, Achata Anava Fadamon the Buck and Sarah, be Kintiganosha Hans Leling the Straha.
Yeah, Kappa saying make Declan Dalton in on the puck and the Sarah, so I'm going to rule on puck Eric August Connolly attacked the Mac and Count, of course, Count Fada for real, no couple of made, or Shock Count, hard of a Fada, because hard of a Dakar, Octasha Contort Fay.
Miss Rishbu John Ardach Tassan Meher Clay, August Ladin Shed Bader, Nadine Vin among the Buck and the Sarah being in sort Earde and Clitter, August Lewis and Clitter being so de fruil, say in Council Bulge on Ord.
Yeah, August Count Marshin, August in Schläger Vulche, Visha, Isween of Capum, Vula Harva Lauder, August in Shin Kylan to and Technique, August in Crinus, nor a Harleen Shin.
Barrett, trust the Páirc in Bachor, Sactimerlin offered Prunty Tarnish, Dalton Achni Revo Hosach, Captain for Cloriga, at this point to Gudelica Bader, of Rob Amach, Jamie Barnes, trusting Dinkley Hahn. Took an Olsen somehow, like I say, reached Cork Keagrachans and Sean O'Donoghue. Achtason, Umpe, again for Cloriga, I guess I fought to get Ruben Halloran, Takashtach Edervert, no Tsuran son, I guess I will fight to get tall, I guess we over the Gaston son.
V, agus ani as a reach Ruben, ta sé an banel le cúpla blian an ús, imróir úntochins na holscoil ag levéil Vic Gaboon, agus inis a tashbond, mar tá Anna could ibre le déanamh aige leis féin in our ire, idir a héin agus Jamie Barron, agus Sean Welch come here rá, job agus pucks air boot ag Sean Welch and seo fé láthar inis an mahu.
Tá Sean Welch Cork go leanúnach an sonnestig, tá gairí leis chum má sellh a bhuachtant, an taing a bhain beidir tá buachtant sellh a san éir de Fort Loriga, ach, da bhíad ist leir faoin tíáil beidir gomach Degine cordem Shimrisha, Hurach Chess Blanc in Egg Doch Stoiv.
Yeah, agus fecum inis fé láthar tá Shane Bennett Shear Shane Barrett fé láthar ag Port Loriga, agus cumála sin tá Sean Mackey imime siar go dtíon lína leachúil tá sé Dermot Healy.
Anna cheannar fad came out the Dash and Sunday get Ruben Halloran.
Anna Yasin sin a Ruben Yashin and Kugu Coolin again ish. Tá foreign Port Lariga tá si taréis an struchtúr a Rúga Hillis go homlán.
3.20 de Vernon ish, vi Cookin Diag Atra, Cup the number 10. Ish Martin James Power, Satorian son Shane Barrett. Tá Páirc Yimrin Pelle Port Lariga Choma, Dirk Sacrushis again Level so Achsha Chun Downey and ish. Ross is Dachanson, Glech Facht of Ryan Road to get showed, cause came in the Bader, Achtan Stutter, Stura, Eder Nakoiliga.
Agus an ish. Shinnon Sheu dinna Asan Shesher who was Trish Goral Docreto. Oh, the Antalo. Neil dinner be shock of Sean Welchig Port Lariga who was a Lacorky Fellar.
Tranona Alling and so Cashley and Green a Crow Ryan Dakrach the Villy Nolan and Sonnestig agus slow more mealtach. Shen through better nafil do Lonnie Savo a halt again for Corky and so. Die the Gadas, agus Annie has to get Charlie Treen. Dakar and Love and Uchter, a Walter Niall O'Leary. Shigri Ruben Halloran, Achta and Retor Tresh, Foxair of Run, Augusta, Cunius, the Maravansa, Erfarki Chiv, Tan Tass, Gohilis Gomlan, Mestic Lahas Boilach.
Ta, Merta. Was talking like, you know, the job her of a Dakar le Dane of him Rory knew Oga show ta talk stock o Port Lariga like Mar Homeplay Mar Vito Ranch in second of him Charlie Treen and Mark all Niall O'Leary like ta Niall O'Leary count is actually countess you know cool is fiar satir Charlie Treen to talk to stock a Geary Vark agus Irene og all an Vorinchon who are in Banale few job on the Yakra you know nor had like Sean Urga Gahig Dina Kasula Ruben Halloran agus Jamie Barron and his Shasab Suas agus Kinrock the Leru.
Basta wuchel ni hen dohin Ruben Halloran os the puck of the Sarah. Kjaunele Sturun son again, agus tá naigi in Ishika. Cadianig Ben O'Connor agam Risha Durashe, Istach Trunu Carter, Hun La Umlan Oman Hurtoif. Diarmid Healy. Conor McCobrian agus tá Chaoimh Anias. William Buckley a gúsáid a churt agus a chamáin go Halliant and Sonach a go to stay. Beg an Iman Sonner. Naigin fóil ge Cork a nósar an dó sé diag.
Yeah, agus ní capá sin yeah like ó heh fécin ar an glé cúpla ceann fada beidir ó Fitzgibbon agus Mark Coleman bheith ó ní hé sin an cinenne ceart mar seacha sin tá an cinenne ceart á fiocha có beagnach gach éon uair.
Iar na déala amachní Jamie Barron nach bhí brú an son ar siúd brú mí glisnach mátá agus se chun Niall O'Leary gur mar a caintear san múntóir gláiste chalmáin an son the managed army of Chushlano Lihoin, Isha Henig. Agus Billy Nolan Takemach, Nish Vision, so Nisluhe, Agus the Visha over garage again. Counts up Ulta, Agus Tasha, a tooling to spot the Hian of Yagnovor, Walsh, a Luska and Hamoin and Son. Ach, and 3 counter for really get Port Lariga Stolium. Agus fwy siafáid a doif Savelis gwyd yn adog Lehama Shete again retord and so Agus fi Corkig Eros sa chiad lashin Nish Galore le dianaf ag Peter Quillian son ag Lehama William Buckley dianaf goma agus Alan Conley Corbeda Ryan Corlin son a ver noa ach Anna Chaimshech mar hasbant get Corkig gone out Tá fyrn lag mag Port Lariga sa bhéidir go annach chuid nasta far Siomar hasan sé Farci Chaoimh dó siad a get Corkig nó adna ag Port Lariga a chút sa gara.
Terence McCarthy run over Corky and so my county. Terence, you must be absolutely delighted with that first half of hurling.
Yeah, I suppose all ball the hand was fantastic first half. Yeah, it's hard to give out to me. Always have a few things, you know, some of the couple of lazy frees maybe, but you know, overall, to be fair, I can't complain.
Looking ahead to the second half, what will the focus be being this far ahead at half time?
Yeah, I suppose again it's very much about all resetting, you know, forgetting last year, starting again, and I suppose we'll start the second half as we meant to go on the first half. So cut out a couple of lazy frees, shot choice on a couple of occasions might have been right. And I suppose the analysis comes later in the week after the game, but by and large it's very hard to complain.
Gurmagu Terence Arrows.
Well, bhí spántas á lorg Ben O'Connor há sé fuitigh ó Chorcaigh an sa gach duine dus na tosa a scóráil 3 chúlín déag idir na fórna agus bheith mí tíar a reint dus na scórna sin tréis na bhógraí. Seid na cluichí pelle a bheith ar GAA feithe sé ihe mórach a beag na cluichí seo go léir buach fointí ar fadagoing a tosú ag a hocht a chlog. Ma de le cuasaí amán a beag tríchlathe a going ó Ryan a HNA agus ANB chum leis an trá líd le bell na man Leroyd Live freisin ihe mórach hocht a chlog. So le cúla agus ceire chulín mar sin ag Declan Dalton an sod a chorcaig a siad contosig agus contosig le trí chulín déag de bhearna idirí tain agus Páirc Láirge dó a sé déag le náid a néid. So ha Dalton ag den a raco fog sé sta dí cehar déag a sé scóráil chraig sé an cúl de Conley agus is stocha Páirc Láirge ag fálam ag an level se ní féidir réon lige a bheith agus tá a lína lá cúl sin.
Yeah, well, vís a gwinge son rivan cléthe, you know, ifre dogs, ifre car gan mor an tahi agus féchan an gion seonis Conor Keane ifre car ag tachtamach a gérig, you know, Liam Tistach agus Búlú Bobber agus Dalton, pastas an son trasna agus Conley, an a skillo Conley conan, you know, conan ní roda corfich ma, but conig mar an son rísh Conor Keane dolamach, you know, vi sé éas gon ai Sean agus an pass, vi sé Dakar, she's goodie routine, Conley, but féchan skill, like ag dolistach tá sé sin Dakar just to come at you os a core agus flickáilistach, so cool éas go go.
Yeah, sé Dakar le bhí enver ce go más atá Corcaig mar ha Páirc Láirge bocht ach, I mean, cad is féidir ráf na tosa, gach dina có scóráil, Dalton a dena gama, Barrett a dena gama agus ní léon stoplo.
A glór spáisicá a bhí híl sin an rud is socha agus iad ag bogad timpeall na háite agus cuma annach líor ach Dalton so ní féidir le lábha le air agus casan sé agus tá sé annachrín agus annachrín a gcónaí ní féidir an spás sin a thuair dá. Burton sa agus socha Dacartáid Mac Fitzgerald tan si dhéirigh taíocht a thuirt den bheirt nuas an atáid tá snús a lína lá cool ach ag an am céine dhéirigh Shane Barrett a bharcáil agus fechan sa ríis casan sé agus Harriston trasnáin ach ró éasca anirist ar fada.
Agus tá Páirc Láirge seasamh I bhádro ada machos na tosa atá Corcaig.
Tá sé ag teasamh siar agus sure Shane Barrett is like coolí núntaach an tlíháin agus you know so William Buckley agus I'm Shane Barrett reach but féchan spás atá ag you know nuair atá duine mar sin ag gimmert mar rih héndi ag dul nacháid caiig tú duine bheith air agus caiig tú mar de far díon bharcáil dhéanamh gan méid spás a thuirtó agus má thuún spás de Barrett mar sin you know mar óig sé thú.
Yep, sin an stíle tá Corcaig ceart go leir so tá siad gomachchan tosaigh ag go buinte se dó is sé déag aimse in éon lead de Imerton sa Tranóna maintear Corcaig chur agus cuairt a bhaisiad sásta bí cinnte an dara le fósamach roing agus fehebíle ceirichéad sa seasca cehar a Páirc Uí. Fáilte rais bhí annach lethe go leir na Tranóna I de chiúí agus Ross Camáin agus cíhí se bheith go léir ag go fethe chuig chuna sé Tranóna tréis an cluiche amána. So scóir le hama mar sin Corcaig dó a sé déag Páirc Láirge náid a né agus bheith sé simúil feiscin cén ian chur an ben O'Connor chun Páirc a dara le mar dó bríon beidir go dúir sé staff reintas na honnadathe ag go buinte seo. So a gédal si is dara cad a fiúchtós amach?
Shelver dús spáir seaca sé fan géad a Corcaig ní féile Páirc Láirge lábha le chur a láir nuair agus tá dul gear leis an bochamach agus tá anna chrín ar fad a bhí híal go dísa.
Yeah, big on in fallíach é sin ráite, Donald?
Yeah, well, you know, don céad den ó méid bhí Corcaig anna chrín ar fad agus gach buile a thug siad fórsí culínach inis né seacaí mar sin de bhín, you know, mar bhanistóristigh bín tú ag lorugród ag an condíní a grísa agus an oda bheith cóna gan bheith, you know, ag búla líródí ó nóca méadra amach, seachta méadra amach, búla líród isteachadí ifre cardiog, ifre cuidiog, ifre trídiog agus bhí ag dul iní cún an tomseo.
Okay, so an Puck Erica, a bhfuil ceistán Donald faoi an Puck Erica bhí an seo agus carta dubh do Mark Fitzgerald?
Well, tá ceistán, you know, ar hála sé las mó, na mar sin de fórsa an céad buile nóir a bhí, seo brein nóir scoilteach, Mark Fitzgerald táteach, an céad teanga bháil an son las mó, ach de hit sé leistigh, but tá sé anna dhechar don réitóir rudí mar sin éiscin nóir tá sé tucha dad snat siar, you know.
Ba ceapa míad na beidir gur mar gur seans glán ar cúla bhí an dara. An seans glán ar cúla bhí an?
Deis bhí ann, seans bhí ann socha bhí hílach, bhí burt seastós a chóir amach, so ag déite go rud ceann céan an tarlúnt agus é daslat amach on máide.
Tá riad sin Dakar size interpretation mar there is an real nach I mean conna see you can do it.
Sinné be no a hen an rétor an bark sin interpretation de gachéin rud agus an rud a bhí gist an sinná hí sé dolamach beidir nach foiig se cool féin but a bhí bertel leis beidir passáin ag nó gá pass dát an séra an taobh so seans cool kid dem húdim se.
Donal nor a bhíoch Peter Queely a gimmert fi sé tegar mar imróir ní acamar marrán de sin óna éireann a meg coichlór for táragus a dara le.
Bhí seanna dheicear le furnóg furn gan taí an son agus Corkig ag taachtamach agus you know the Corkig an ufta must win game of town though if sunlight bhí or a bhócan ón tús agus bhí si réig de sin agus tá si ag go le bhúair sin le gá bhí an ús tá taftú cinnta so an haispátas a Corkig Port Láirge faoi bhrú but Hánig si isteach san immert le déanú méad le dul, agus tá si ag bhad níos fearr.
Agus chun creúint Arthur Ruben Halloran tá sé gimmar gomadóibh an sanna measna dosa a caafar é siúd a lua chomá. Ok, well Címí conas is féidir le Port Láirge aige hart an isir an dara le sto a céimar chéim. Címí conas Irene Loa seo brian agus níise.
Se gur maithagah na fórna filte Corcaigh mar a bhéidir agus is tóilm gúil Port Láirge leis mar a bhéidir sin bennett a féin mú mar lechúlaí láir mar atáile tamil a feire sin Barrett Corcaigh mar St James Owens is tigan son an mar lína cintúgal chéine in the gart agus an stetra caiitisteach agus an cheadún sé sa tarna lansa agus Brian Lynch a rásisteach a dro chúl Corcaigh siar tagarí James Power nar af sa chléthe pain an council búirte fé bhrú ach tá bontáiste tucha ag an réitóir do chuig an iirecht ar fóréil puck séiristeach.
Yeah, agus tús má bhí a tastáil ó Port Láirge comá mar you know bhí scóirú go géir go tapig agus ag géirí you know chuirna líd an manistóir agus fiú dá chéile go bhfuil siad an seo an cluthe bhuacan nó íreach cluthe bhuacan agus cai si bheith bhd níos fisiciúla cai si bheith bhd níos tapúla mar go dtí seo tá Corcaigh ag gimmart ar Lewis go hilas go thomláin agsúil na mar a Port Láirge.
Well, is toch gewend sproken is na tarna le bochtend. Ní
okay.
Cael hanskap hoe should play a howl offer.
Ach fiú é dhéanamh comórtas go fisiciúil tackle de haise in the Cork Docker and Voran eile.
Tríinte le Ruben Halloran. Ag an Richardson hí na garsúin ó Ghaelscoil na Douglasise agus ó bhailir a sína mó ar fáic na himara a chuirsím síochta ar fáil fe chumar go scían na scoil an son lá mór do siúd cinte. Mar sin an council take a chofad le Shane Barrett siagrí Coleman a ríist ómaige an ceann na gáardach gafa haar William Buckley and son ach Connolly tacht ná fuidir nuir san sell a fachtaige beidir Alan Connolly Nis tá spás mór gríistig Cormac O'Brien a his source and son ar Clehan Howell agus tá on Tá Mark Fitzgerald filter fáic na himara agus géir gá acu le taíonair agus go déin féin le cumasanéir.
Déireann gúil Declan Dalton an tuairt fe seo agus níl ribbe féir ar bar ná passia.
Steach a lár slí ábhar á éilehn sannaige ar Barrettach ní héana eile sé sin. Nes se chuin a 40 club Mark Coleman dient ar ausar fátaige ceann a faoití an le go dain hain ag Mark Coleman.
Yeah, Céad Coolín agus ní minic a vector duine Praban Schlitter an dala bhí mí anar ach tá an fárcó dasin an jobh mar bhí me chun rá níl ribbe féra híos an sin conascoil Declan Dalton tuairt fe seo ach thug sé pass das críochlaí sé le Coolín an sin an í asó Mark Coleman.
Mar sin puintin taobh sa tarna le. Curchuid de céan an ús ar cheann bháilte agus é buirte go nespeach dar ó léirí dan sé ar a talamh deis fósing an lán cholaí béidir súin cín deaslan na cholaigh slachta ag a downaí Steach le Mark Fitzgerald tóca go tappagan sandaige Jamie Byrne agus bhfuil sin las mud an gúile an cúile buirteige scór gan dáta bhí a testáil go dóite ó Port Láirge agus amachchatá Schlitter san na techt Seán O'Donoghue Buirtisteach a lár slí be chóirgan ó chtéiseach a déir fáil seo déanta go deirsaige Darragh Fitzgibbon tá lósaige Corcaigh a déanamh scris isteach an sagarí Buckley críoch glóiseach glóiseacht agus glóiseach ó ceann na Páirc nach mór.
Go háling a ríist agus sin an differ idir na fórne like Lach Jans ag Jamie Barron búlan sin cúile tagann sé nuas agus an sin ó ghuine go duine I brab na súil I taobh eile na Páirc a críochlíte le Coolín ó William Buckley 8 differúil a há tréis scóráil de Corcaigh.
Shep would on the ass Glor and Lion Vagina Sean O'Shea. Well, fuck me, Sean on Gafoil. Martana Dashing attack Stisher Void. Patrick Collins and Odd Carts. Bed Norven Bulla a bar Riv on Council. Ach, Bahan session, Hansenish, Leite Augusta on Retor de Glechan and saw Charlie Treen.
Bula and Chin. Yeah, it's Solar Hornick, Trasner or Sean O'Donoghue and Chin, Capiscore Cordaway, Vula, and Chin Kaisha Vula, Har Sean O'Donoghue, August Collins, V Lahianska. Now, Yen Collins, come on, Chin.
Capiscore Charlie, the only heck, Reuben Halloran, Smahan Skill Noch, Charlie Marta Cartaby, Fachte, a Gishin Hannah Heinig, Ach Maradort, Sean O'Shea, Meherli in the Fearne, Faragog, Eirucht, Hever, Auron Nicht, Agus Cowl, down to Unreadig, Sean O'Readig, Coltori Chulin. Gailing, Gedain Fein Choma, Agus Coltus Coltori, Aaron, Far Viala Heleke, Mihe Oing. Patrick Collins. Caught over Lesha Alan Connolly, Agus Vidon, the kind of smacht, if you get on goal vicious and Lesha House or Fad, more flourish skille, like Alan Connolly, Bertno Tsur in a Hine, Buckley. Niet je nodig, talking so. Agus na deze getach Sean Mackey, stach Lorsley. This James Power. Gaffer 3 jaar nach Geometry fair Liscool and son. Diana van der Gno, Agus reist Tommy O'Connell. Paul Bert nu Tsur en Dave Howell. Shodinica. Cormac O'Brien. Geometry reist. Ach, Bashta Wochel, cousin Vahage Connor Keane. Via Connor Gould and Stutter Tucker Hafada. Le Alan Conley, well, ni more nag a Brinnachan Gansi Ronson. Connor Prunty, Agus Fursha Slap no Royle Erliestach.
4-4, Agus Fursha Rivishin Freshen or Visha Muncheleva, Agus Vitrunu Carradin of Tacklal there. Akar Allied, Ta Port Lariga, Tashi the Geary, Tacklal Failar Nish, Tashi Tration Lewis Ardu Biogani, Nakinti, Kupla Foul Dent, Chinik Prunty here. Ach, you know, Shop Biogani in these Fiaro Fort Lariga, Ach, O'Have Crut, Fursha kicked that's an Eigen, Freshen Agus Slap, like, come on. O'Have Crutte top 5 big Port Lariga Failar. Tashid Kylte in Lorna Parka, Declan Dalton attack the Macastoka.
Caleb Lyons, Filter on Astral, Agus Tasha Taka, her nation saw, Agus Lochglanta for Lariga, Agus Gedain Fain Lochglanta, no Mokti, Hamonich the 3 Kele, Bra Sasta, Eshu the Ishk Internash. Alan Connolly, Shanskul Jeredian to San Honega. Agus níl er is an gortega Cork get the sach na straha. Agus da big Ben O'Connor sin, ní slúhinson san aglov ag beg sa a curtinisher.
Beg Kintamar a rish far a via mun na puck na sera. Stoke of Viedrick Sula blian Mooruig so tá Dara Fitzgibbon a Shastafar and Buck Sarah Shaw. Well, Beda Gulcha talk to Rash is just lag or two mar the cast in the new pert there for she slapped in like come on fresh nugs there and Dolive.
Martin Cowan Oscordian Hool and Rist Fad and son. You
Conley Rasher and Bar Laura.
This Martin Billy Nolan Rist. Bertrand saw get Port Lariga Sean Walsh Rist because Neil Engedal na China nor the hench and Arda Sanayer. We should Cartiga Breher Gownson Hanavirni Ancient. Sean O'Donoghue, he'll hit 3 Varna, Agus Shigri, Far Vela and Cassick. Agus well, Kashich and son, Erson Raitoriga, Patrick Collins, Agus Big Painter, Nafashichan so get Port Lariga.
Akarishin, Vodney's Fiaro, Charlie Treen, Agus Caleb Lyons, Tavish Digginshin, Agus, you know, Canicamara Show Coupler or Sakadla, a dull on Otto, Billy Nolan, dull Harlina Lacool, Corky, Agus Chin Garfadla, Sean Welsh, Tavish Dig, Liam Seuss, Agus, you know, Third Finch, Litter Ordock, you know, Show Coupler Sample, Nice Fiaro, Nish Hannafin, Tashi, the Dulce Tor, Him Rory, a Geary Brew, Corner, Him Rory, or Nerev Shin or Shulakor, Rakers Sakadla.
Counson Buckestach Lorsley, which well, Bisha, Fichen People. Vile Corlo and Davlina, after a faint token son, Agus Kelly Diog the Varna Inisha.
Shin Ochgulin, Gruben Halloran, Ach Ein Count Dag, Nilak Truer, Trace Corallo, Fort Lariga, Gumperodle, Ochter, O'Corkick.
Shane Barrett and though if the Heniug, down to Kalenson, Ach Shane, and Shane Ella, Shane Barrett, Bennett and son of Buchten and Keenshin, Lahan Spader and son, Downey, Tachtasna, Nesham and Court of Dove and son.
Bhí sin beagnach díreach mar an ggéin a seachas beagán in níos congrín a mar a hálas a céad le.
Began ní sé hí mach Beidir don Taimhlíne ach an chalís anna chasúil leis an giad ceann Beidir greibh dreim chum agan da sé live Rob Downey ach tá Johnny Murphy do leisteach glín mar cool.
Mar a ríis is an rud a dhéan Brian Roach come á freisin an rud so tugann tú trasnar aig an coolí mar an sin caig Downey an cinne sin dhéanamh well a bhfuil me chun scuile leis ré agus rithim me leis nu bhfuil me chun tang bháil dhéanamh leis agus an sin déanann tú tang bháil agus seohan tora.
Agus má tá réiteúir búil seasamach agus tástócha sin carta do bhanis de íorchapta an chorcaí Rob Downey agus beag déanúm a siúdanis agus bhfuil pocéirice chomá pa chorgaimech agus tá.
Tá.
Neada could they live on Vanistora, Ben O'Connor and a Machin.
Yeah, Comid Ard Vulla Hart go Ruben Halloran come on like you know like Tashid Fevru, Snatosa Gahorha, Ogidra Hain, August Sean Welsh, Tom Bertico Den of Gahanava, August Faker Shaw, Tom Bennett, Taxu is going to show Vula.
Thugadain, the old count again, Declan Dalton to hear that. Fairvine in the Sagart, August Ishel again shoot and Kuni Kenamata. Crota Vadis Varnish, Chursi, the Fortlord again.
Yeah, go hauling a stock Sakunya, Praben, Shin, a stock of Bowl, and look at Jin, look, oh, near of Shanser big a better. Because near Ardic, Garte, if you so, Yen Shikahoon took a chin, Mar Senior Fraben Shin, Marshin, on a Yacker, does Nakul Barry, Shin have all, on a Yasso Shane Bennett, because Bader, go make more to going in ish.
Well, my landlord, a kind of the ruin of the Gufs, a ticket get by the Lochus, pay Lochus, Gohaniela. Beg scale the Vaha again. Billy Nolan, a dulce chance begun in Bug, Achta, Connor Keane, but to Mach again. Well, Bottoon and Son, I guess Shachon Alan Conley, Ta Farkley, Honaclash, Estakni Buckley and so, I guess I didn't come on a Luska, Ta Sundianta, again William Buckley, I guess Ta Cool and again Cork.
On a yes, Cree, on a yes, Fevru and Chino William Buckley. Conley Lorna Carish, past Dasachin Smakta, Bullet fight again, Clock again, Lava one, cool Das, Faker Shaw Reach, problem there yet Dina Shaw, we're near of chance again, come on, lose Gart, Akas Kuma, Shin Reen the skill.
Lose Shin alive, wind the end,
yeah. Shin Rudamira, Shin Reen the Imror Harvest Gilul, Imror Assinganach.
Fragra Lordach, Erhul, the Nashach and Son, Akas Double Scorna, Barney Head of Faint to Diog. Sheer and saw Niall Halloran, Niall Leary, Ruben Halloran, Mothos, Kenneth Clipter, Ach, Bloody Dascadicht, I guess Sean O'Donoghue. Top physical of Marharat, Ganisha, Kinte, Gohardia Master Dossa, I get Portorigus, Saturnilla, Ach Fos, Neil and Vreco, Erchorkig.
Neil, no, Annie Ackert, see, Johnny Ackert, Dully here, showed like Shane Barrett to talk to Mark Koma. So Barrett, August Dalton, now, Arish. Like you say, Moula Feshkent on make cool Port Lorrigan ish and on Dulla sort on Countis Fiara all mar either Dalton or Barrett feeder in of Scris the Kedla.
Shin under the Samuel Hugh O'Connor Village the Peladordian Vinch of McCarran. Bashta Nimurnagar Hushet Young of Oil and Son Lesh Gamra Dower, Alan Walsh, Farchown Turk. Tashek Karkalor. Ní Boilda Martian Dara Lines Sugarina Hulbarde big chance again Olin Bader and Gounson Choramacha Joe Irla Daly and Jahar Cork Atacha Gehenig Martian Shelef Satarnala Nisa Vassana Maravi Fusi Head at the Fort Lorge Shachtor Chef on Gear the Corkig Martian Sean Wild Chip Derek Dolchan Keane Slick sheer again, Gossington son, Agus Collie scale to Homa Kiana. See no more dear Catus Atarnala. Kahar Dioganish, Edda Barky, Cork fell over. Rob Downey, Deeberha. Washington on Shaston, Agus Capscomedic Martin Nubert. is leanú le a bhaile ach níle dúchel ann goláidir agus began dóibh an terrace ar hefna live a deise a choscailt maid na nniu hí na san éileh céadaí Mark Coleman agus an council chuir fóraí.
Sean rud a bhí Donald sort of rá Glahama comá mar níl sin a tastáil ó Corcaigh mar nar háisiad a gúsáid an slittar go deas agus go má agus go cliste tá siad a duineh scris.
Martha go deasan son ige well tá Dara Lyons a bhí annach tar an egin braitistigh ige Johnny Murphy agus tá cárta techt an tríú chalí scéalte ige Dara O'Leary agus tá tháinig son a bhd ó nimmert.
Neadidir Cath go bhacha sé rud éigeanú go nóir den éigeanú tháinig tachtach isteach ó taobhfíor den cúlnú rud éigean mar níor ceapas gribh Johnny Murphy fiú a fécinn sa tró sin ach look bhí rud éigean feice ige chalís agus cárta buí níos tá Dara féhrú go hára le Sean Welsh ar bhéingad chur gachard istí ar ceann Sean Welsh.
Níos tá Bennett tuca níos páta bháin eile agus níor bhaithe le pointe. Cúigear istigh ar a líne. Glacham í deis go teach an tút fé chúlan sa tomátíisiil an slittar a prapar an aiseach an zóna tas tá chúigvéidir a seaca ar deirí hir.
Yen Tommy O'Connell go maith an sin mar bhí sé réig nuair a phreab sé amach agus rith sé isteach go tappaigh chuna sinna stoppa dul ar isteach sa cúl Dara buinte stócha cárta buí.
Se Dara O'Leary fág an na Páirc fear a láithn na huaire thuas a trachad nua gíl Dara mar chárta Dacrachtaí ige siúd maid le tréáil agus tá an déile istigh ige Portláirige Michael Kiley. Nis seo fear eile atá go meas an éir. Joe Booth a fág an na Páirce. Mar sin má bhíon clasmhaile bhí gan ar hnáis feice an seachtaine be gráhanna a bhd níos sa bhar ige Peter Quayle, Reuben Halloran a chrathúin ag go díalhuis mar ar amon na bocan na séire.
Go háling a seaamh isteach an áit Stephen Bennett a búlan na pocan na séire agus céim fan nach méach nar háú go crainn le sin ach a rís tá cúil eile tastáú go géir chuiristeach ar Kiley agus Sean Welsh fing a ceappa.
Dara Fitzgibbon a tarach ní minic a cín tú le héad sin ach se chun Corcaigh páta bháin eile níis agus an countsa ige Hugh O'Connor agus tá féite fachta ige Hugh O'Connor san.
Anna yes, Hugh O'Connor and sin an slígur smachtach sé sin caiise go néite go snasta agus ar an trasná an cúlín anna yes Hugh O'Connor.
Se fear á trasna. Well, ar Shane Bennett at the end of a year in son and Vertahar fós gorta agus nuair a bheith Stephen Bennett ar náis ige Portláirige chuir se crotum lán de friúil ar an éana tosaigh sin.
Héin agus gan bachan le Desi Coman ar hagann sé ráis isteach agus just tá an taithí sin a tastáú go géir mar tá Johnny Acker ar dína dul isteach cosúla Sean Mackey agus Charlie Treen gan na lad sin haimplartha.
Aston Gleeson bhí caint go meach sé ar fáil réisteach tá cinenne déanta ná beis ar fáil fiúd an glas óg tá meach sé siúd timpplairtha bhór an chair é háláfa.
Cinnte, like ó héh taithí de ó héh physicúlach de agus like tá differ olmhór idir dínaá idir fethe 8 agus trocadó I gomperláid le fiú na dínaá anna bha ag go máint is gachart lads a háthart ar idir fethe agus fethe trí just ó héh an physicúlach de agus tá sé saléir an seo fiú fécin na nús ar an barc an differ idir Corcaigh fir Corcaigh agus na himróí háig Portláirige.
Mission tá ábhar fola an son ar chuis Alan Connolly. Beidir nuach Peter Quayle ná fel a róhin an son ar a chuis. No, tá deis an son go héili anna hábháil ige Billy Nolan an son búirte go díal fé lán luis ige Diarmaid Healy agus tá an cortach an sa den gosan tóir sin puinte anna jasar fat.
Bhí sin go háling mar is Diarmaid Healy a haringar in slittar sin on sábhálaigh Billy Nolan fan go bheiceamid an seo pucks ar mór mílteach fad ó Connolly de freib sé isteach ar imime ceann agus bang fic lena chuts anna jas Billy Nolan mar habhálach. Jeez, anna jas ó Diarmaid Healy agus críicnig sé le cúlín ar a leid.
Se Portláirige ar nún sí ríiste agus tá Tommy O'Connor teanta tá comáinnig gemacht ar dal a Sean Welchinson agus Mikey Kiley atara.
Cé an duine sa bhreis a háid Portláirige níl siad a buintú sáda sin a réachar fé láthair agus daoine imime an barc.
Coleman ach tá an fear má fachtan sa ige Conor Keane ar siút. Als je vegan een paddy leven in je floor, kan ze schuldig tegen John het tassen. Het prabben als Cork dan hun nach de inche, kom maar. Prabben glitterde Levenson, Nish Collins tassen harde pointale. Mark Coleman took a shit tegen Lorsley. A mark die in Clehan, the guitar the class inish. The sport to get Cork. Brian Roach. Stechen so, agus fachten so, again Walsh. Ní hoekig son is stechel stolen, big son yes, agus voorrail.
Yeah, me and Chin Alan Walsh. For real, maar die chance for een Chaoimh den Chin on the ass and pass O'Connelly a Mocker Roach on the ass.
So ta diligent to get Rob Downey, ach Tommy Hall Mullins Curtis Techaco in a out. Declan Dalton, bra sast howloin. In a vuljet tran hone again. Agus ta Kinte Tachtert took a get on man store.
Ta Kinte mar visha Ducretin or visha and Bark.
Fachten Mikey Kylie stechen sa, agus Desher Feinton sa, again Chaoimh Lions. Get score Ohan Shernash.
Yeah, agus Fay Yera dinna diff rules score all o Fort Lariga and Chin O'Nimmert. Mar Shockas Ruben Halloran, like Neil Tussey or Behella hot race score all, so Shannon Cade scores Shockas Ruben Halloran in Snatussa, the Fort Lariga, Ducretin or era.
So Creva and Saura Shakata shaking the faint TV after. Well, the head fluid skilly get Jim Healy get us near of a pass. Harmola Berta, Achto, Fehekul to Hela Fehedovion. Sachla Derek, a Kirkul Spedoga, Agus Gandout, Shines Move, get the end of Tinisher Peter Queely, Conas Tacht, as Crave the Moon, Nistian Lena. Bennett, Stach and Son, Agus Tasson Yesh, Agus her 4 reel.
Sean Rotop Boyle, Wintle, Chaoimh Lions on her Honey Stach, agus Sean Differ, Farla Tahi, agus Kamala Shin on her Vugger Bennett or Ashkadina Tussa, Boyle, Wintlesh, Koma.
Alan Connolly, Tisha Machtelson or Irla Daly, agus Gan Brood all the other. Queen Taylor Fachtenson, 3 Fehedoni, she got Cork.
Shin Hain a Doig, Alan Connolly, Anish, Cool, agus Ga Coolin, Hain on Immert, Soulig, knock 4 shot Coolin one, oh fuck's there.
Sha, Lechra Gaila Lenunt, turn the count attack and Cyril Farrell.
West of Ireland people, if they're very good at something, they nearly apologise for it. We had as much right to win as anyone. But you have to believe that.
Sha, Cardu, Extra doing to spell a Fiachner and Glarson gone out to Lord, the Hood son, Achan Coatson, and Lenunt to get Bun and Skyline. Adrian Darling, Taylor Foss, Tommy O'Connell and Poutus of the Cork.
Cade score on Immer Comags, he should tilt again to Ober Nagapal, I of again, or Foot Fat in the Park, Agus Coolin Marcriac again.
Dacker Vassanari, the Cadavanik Peter Queely, Assa, Shachas Bader, Numati, Erfak Emra, again Emirori. Majerle Manam on the Forna, Castella.
Well, the Stoke of it are all like Cod of it, Heart of a Sauce, the Ruben Halloran, Agus Tash Pontus again. Darrell Lyons, Agus Jamie Barron, sort of then of Mogalore, Boshdi, Agus Sean Welsh, fresh and Veha on a Hogalish, Agus Charlie Treen, Sadara Lat, Tasha Dulling Lek, like a Geary Brew, a Corner, a Coola, Agus a Geary Rudeg and the Yenavach, Shaka Shin, like Captain Gamek Bourha, now Tigam Gulana Kudina, the Doctor Ashok, Veha Bourha.
Chat and Clora a cussa craver do special as pilot Port Loriga, Conella Fossiga, Ruben Halloran, Anna has bought this oh have Crinish, they get far Della Sal.
Yeah, Degulin and Isha Ruben Halloran, Nilchin Roll, Grecher.
Martian under the Ella Foss attack the Shach Martin Power, Irla Daly, the Fog in the Páirc. Och Louinia, Sha and Páirc sa. Might let's Lou Fehmile, Herrichiad, Agus Shaska Cahardina, the Canik Tikia, the Chlahian line of. Short is taken so Roach. Dan mag she smacht er een keer direct again. Wie je gaan vouwen hoed van Gossentoren en son. Agus de Machtaan Stetter, Agus wel. Komt het in het Lou beter. Nou veel haasten als je ginnen.
Yeah, Captain Gubel Cherag gur hit and come on a love. Captain is timpish de bheann an sin mar jouler an tackle bhí a dénach
Sean is túisgur fácht na himmer an sad a bhuaig na Penadori an go fáin le pointe ach bhd ar an níos a héráidí ar na hamánathe.
A rís, sin ceann eile dul dro Sean Welsh tá 5 ná crothú aige. Tá job an a bhatha dhéanamh aige stigan sin ar imle le Carnóga tá sé crothú 5 na de lína lán cool Corky, so sin cinnte rud dearfach a tacht amachchas an gléisio.
Sean Walsh atá in a bhacléin an sa san MTU i Corcaig sé gimmert a gorn vici bhún loha son. Agus de sé le fósan is go Rúben Halloran. Agus tá crut begáin níos a bharnis ar chláir a scóir. Héna cúdíag a get Portláirige. Agus denni le dul náid an éhí ag an rise. Leis bhfuil is a go dní sé cad a bhuinig Ben O'Connor asa mar bhí sé bhadro heráid a chun tástáil ceart agus bre cheartúirt ar imiróirí áirithe.
Yeah, is tócha rud a bhí saimúil fé a buint Barrett agus Dalton sa dar lehan seo níos féach. Níl, bheith rá leis na 100 dul isteachráid féach an féidir le job cosúla mar bhí á dhéanamh a có dhéanamh níos an seo mar nuair bhí an cléthe sort mar cléthe go lua bhí Barrett agus Dalton bhí ar déanamh scris ceart ar an cléthe, like bhí ar go hillas go thomláin i gceannas ar an cléthe. So an féidir leis na lads nua tachtasteach ón Dave Lína an féidir lo sort an méid céine dhéanamh nó lehan méid céine dhéanamh agus go dtí seo níl sin á heispáint go so stócha bheith a tharbh sásta leis an ggóimmert na pasna bhí á chur le chéile có agus immert like Dalton, Barrett go hátha, Fitzgibbons a céad le freisin agus Diarmuid Healy.
Nis bhfuil Johnny Murphy gléach an áil ar an éigen teach Dara Lyons agus Brian Roach. Dasgur an teach le chéile an son a bhí idir Peter 6 ó 8 as Hólin a thug Alan Walsh, Cheann Turk. Do rinne dus na déisig Robbie O'Flynn. Fer a cráte ag a gorta le tamil a bliantan is agus Diarmuid Healy ord chlathe ag an ógánach de chorcaig nó.
Yeah, is brawl am Diarmuid Healy mar imróir. Tá Lewis aige, tá skill aige, ach tá fís aige freisin anna bha mar imróir.
Council Schultersteach agus ar fóríl gan dáta son Ryan I bháthir Diarmuid Healy. Bhil is do déisiig da meach sí fantáis.
Sin díreach é.
Agus bheith có.
Yeah. Bheith sé testáil ó gach fórin an áíras ar fud na tíre mar is tosíd an scothe.
Anna cheann bhfuil nach mór tócan sannach Dara Lyons a clúdach siar. Alan Walsh a córach agus tá Cowan son aige. Robbie O'Flynn. Bheith sé siúd bra buachtas na neomatí gáilt an son amó Mark Fitzgerald se ruair maith ag siúd a Preben Clitter agus crein curéir a gomáin isteach an sa búta ag Walsh a ríist agus déitach Jamie Byrne a bheitsteig an sa Doras siat am tá Tommy O'Connell lá an éananig an son agus sin ag ord ag Sean Walsh. Réiteoirí an a dhéana ar le héad sin an bhlianta McCarran. Well, har eile Rúben Halloran a pochtas ar a chun immert Sean Walsh beidir séfachtaí do Fortláirige Tránóna. Seo chun Tommy O'Connell a teacht amach go ó Donoghue. 8 nótan is fáca ar a clog. Patrick Collins a Helligan son isteach a drón chúiltá fir mhór son isteach sin fear beidir is síiste William Buckley tá lúne fé mar íon. Well, sin anas capscap sé ar fórílar dúiseach tá féinte fecht ge mar íon Corkran blianta ina Páirc a chrócaig.
Honey, yes, and Gino William Buckley reach right fast score all or scoring a fight against F. Brew. A Chaoimh on a gluna for she cool the lava one. A will end nach féidir leis déanamh.
Agus is Pellador an sco chomathe. Bhí sé ráilta go níon fortríal níos a bhó ar siúd beidir lehénta eile. Trastan son agus tá son gafa ar fóríl. Mar sin bheith Portláirige brasáasta nuair a héitigh Johnny Murphy an adóg nuair a dhéirigh an sa. Tommy O'Connell a teacht leistigh agus tá siad a géar a cúla le gáilteach geoid prontaí in dhéananig an count an orda go díalige agus tite chun talún an son. Agus bhí mar ráig le haman a bech éanán ar bhainte chorcaí a thógan bogan sa mar gwyl tachtrachtaí le tŵrt dy Ben O'Connor. Gohair beidir go lehéadí Alan Walsh, Hugh O'Connor, Brian Roach. Agus gyda'n féin Declan Dalton choma.
Yeah, agus leid Hugh O'Connor camera. Tá sé teispán go Ben O'Connor gwyl sé gíri bheithar an bhoran seo. Tá sé gíri na nóma édiál. So sin cór hama freisin.
Sha fi ferrial a chantasig Brian Lynch yn son a chanstetter me het trasna. Drain better chama Mikey Kiley and son. Brata again Ray Tower. Ní yna sé ein defrich John O'Donoghue and son agus Sha fi yn live dúisige agus an son sput them on.
Bhí agus dúsáid Mikey Kiley a chorp go maith an sin gur chuir sé lámh agus a cumán trasnar Seán O'Donoghue ónas go mbeadh sin anna stiúrú agus an slitar rit trasna a chorp an sin anna clistó Mikey Kiley.
Mar sin trí cína sa chéile a bheith ag Rúben Halloran má chláiríonn sé pointe an sa agus an méid sin diantaige do luas hana go bhfuair sé náide fethe sé na gin díag do focan na saoire is ra amán an na mún. Mar sin in Counson an chógacht an daobh líne. Má brile déanamh an sa agus blúdi dascadaíocht a Michael Kiley i teachtasteach an son agus in brethmór bhí Hall Mullins. Rúben Halloran. Tóca agus pointe das so nimmert a bhar a bhúr mór fachtaige os do pocan na saoire.
Ja, bhí sin go háling ó Rúben Halloran an sin mar cepas greibh an seans imethe agus caiise isteach ón na héamh sé preban slitar ón dalamh cepas an sin búla ach nó ilan níos fear héamh clé is fear leis a héamh clé ach an gadíoch sin a dhéon Mikey Kiley an sin bhí an tackle sin do crete go háling agus críicnig sé le scór so a rís pointe eile dearafach ó héamh na déise.
Nóir le Shane Bennett and son ach deisian sáige William Buckley agus puirte leistigh an son agus bhfuil obair chrúig ge Sean Mackey setar fós le buachtaid.
Slitar tehar lámh a fuair an sin mar bhí seans cool an sin cinnte.
Robbie O'Flynn a díreach an setar a gháin an chéad chlibbert le ceartaniuh rud a léiríonn cecho scríte agus bhí an nimmert bátaigh san spás bhí gadaine machchan sagarí Barron. Fer a líon amach ar hénig go chéan lá. Steach a lár slí agus obair bhaige Dara Fitzgibbon an fer má fachta ar Mark Fitzgerald a seod an níireach mátá mé chlé agus tar fórí.
Mí an sin a ríseach, you know, just an brú atá agus bhí rá fin na clibbertí freisin comid rá tá an fár cófir for sin de lá an gírig a mí anar nach bhfuil an slitar is stop a féach tá sé prebo an dalamh féá bhfuil William Buckley.
De luas gomach Portláirige gimmerte a gine an chláir sa chréibh bhfuil gan nó tipperdána bheith ige Corcaig bheith siad as baile agus ní bheith géine a spáráil i chéile sa chluise. Nis tá na dóg séit gan réiteoir cé bhfuil Lynch treis an stetar a chur Harris drasnáin. Mar sin tá daoine níos a scríle fé bhaile. Brian Roach, bheith sé siúda dul sir dála na néiseach deirtlim go cnóis gar a mór an son sir ó chahar Chorcaí agus crothóig son decrachtaí meid le trácht bí cinnte. Nis, beidir an ceannas fideo bhaile gar Rúben Halloran san óna agus bhfuil sé chur amach ar chléige á bhríon beagus bailach.
Yeah. Mí an sin mar le go dtí seo bhí sé cócrainn bhí sé do crete le a lehéad de spáintas crinneasa le ón immert agus óna pocannas ar do crete ó Rúben Halloran an jobh.
Lynch dulchan céineach Robbie O'Flynn le smeachtáach máin Hall Mullins dianta go deasige an son. Bhí fear leistíir de Seán O'Donoghue ach tá cuasaí chur ina gceart ige as is dúim héin. Stechan sa rééis inis agus bhfuil decrachtaí a chu deirí hir éalaíon Hugh O'Connor chun cíanaan sa agus sin ceann a bhfuil sé las mo réist don gúile is bailach ábhríon beag ige Hall Mullins. Mar sin na nuamatí díanacha agus beag Portláirige brasásta ó na dó géirigh a chlosan sa. Stechan sa Tommy O'Connell. Robbie O'Flynn. Well, bhí sé cuoine bhar phlean A, phlean B ar deirí hir. Stechan sa a prebe de chamáin an Chorcaí an son.
Ar ghuiid prontaí a sinúigh nar bhí sé gíre sin a smachtú ar tháinig an cumán isteach le flic an sin mar dhéan bhí sin gáing mar chosint.
Martin Power leis an son sa chluaiseacht son. Ach tá Corcaig a chur ó ghaine go duine agus Pésí me bhí gas na déisiigh sa chóra agus doch gúil sé tráte féin drásá agus buheachar iad a lochtú cé gan íonig banistóir tan cinnte ach tá an chluiche méhamótha leistóir.
Tá is buach ach ná seán ruúd bhí nó níthe ceapas gribh himar ginach féh seo seaamh chuise béad an sin bhhailin bhil ní an céim fá greibh sé gearán.
Jamie Byrne. Een scoort dienig sa de verklaring marschen. Mackie. Shall maak het is de koelige. Ach Hansen is. In de park. Het vast en zo. Wel wie ze zien. Kroeg mag en Nailer is tegen ons. De has negen. Charlie train. Ach ze kreeg ik derde maart naar Will Fitzgerald. Vanuit de gekorn dikke buurt zal wel gaan van boertige. Ach een dol een trosse een doldo. Shall we hem uit. Agus Michael Mullins. Stakker daar Fitzgibbon, een kaptein nu. Braas de lette spant de voorne een Giedla. Aan de werktuchtige Conor Kane. Aan de glister vat. Agus aan de lacht voor. Catch je trust in de park. Ik shoot. O'Leary. O'Laganus. Agus Shin Chaoimh Jessica Cork. Cormac O'Brien Gary Coleman. Tromotion or Nash. Some Mark Coleman. Count das Schulterstach again. Peter Annie as her fad. They get found of Lornan.
Yeah, count a scoring and lay better of Reen agus Mark Coleman on a good chance there goal she come tower fe ach sin an dara coolín again on immer hosig chill and Niall O'Leary a British sheets and Schlitter pass love alling agus Creech unta go Mark Coleman.
Shet trúr tosa istig trúr Cosantoria on the Cork na first against Darragh an Ochter Coleman favrúin sa mata agus Catjawig stoilm ketar on a good nish mar lech nemara.
Well, det I ended around New York knock it Tussa Corky Cahora like O'Shane Barrett agus Declan Dalton New Dermot Healy ach ta ever a 3 day and Josh O'Hay William Buckley like Duck Renton or here like an Raim should score all Hay and a Cahar on Immer to get cool a love on
ta bout to beg achrin so agus mach nik an retor rud ag nach nís tuiske Owen Roach tan Calvar puntige agus stoilm grips beidir buile the guest and son. Nader vra an meer cool, nu an meer line sin. Ach, tan cléthe hart mar a haráid goin, ach fós bíine bard an son agus Shabby sin, well sin teanga bháile cábhar hí builean son. Bud is good céile leins is stoilm titach hart a Darragh ben son.
Agus like O'Have na riile de caiisiid bheith, but sure neandra bhfuil siad chuna dhéanamh mar O'Have na riile go cinnta go cór.
Nish. Sean
Páirc Darragh again now.
Agus tá Páirc Darragh. Nis níor bheith Sean White bhí sa fiosach Nick Marna.
Ja, san pies in the eag, vi sé cúpla second in eag, de bhain sé clogad ó ceann ón Roach agus sure Neil Caddy sin íana bach fan go bheice mí de ríise.
Nis ben afil de dienta fósaige Johnny Murphy. Bud sé gleich sé tá an pucks Brownta. Agus beg son an a chnáf sparnige Peter Queely. Tá smacht tar a bheith táchtach in éon iran agus dúir bhíon géilte cad a bhiú dul san sa bhrian. Ísisiil a gheith Kylie, smacht a gheith Patrick Collins. An stútar chuireach an ébre an son a gheith, an nuas an son ecanta a bhíon Robbie Flynn a léimt an son a chanis.
Just destruction, clogad on the ceann agus sure look they're in really because Páirc Darragh sin.
Agus bhí Johnny Murphy ar láthir an son ach ní dóilm gribh se chungracht an achtra a hála riime sin.
No. Mar dá mar rud ag go bhain Sean Welsh Páirc Darragh an sin bacór go mé Páirc Darragh ag an Mert eile freisin.
Coleman éile an ádas an éireachtá se le bhuiid an aisiige Shane Bennett. Deis an son is ag Portláirge Béidir festa le Niall O'Leary ón a chúna hain. Agus saoil go dtíana a chúlbáirde an son. Tríniomad a fógríoch beidir go meach Precious son inis de bhar an achtra son agus tá Johnny Murphy a ríist a gléich an áil Jamie Byrne an trosa.
Yeah, four. Bhí sin scuilte galore now lena cumán ó Jamie Byrne.
Nis tá Jamie dearing áirsach go leor ach cáirta buí sethe. Le town frustrachis lá fada a beheadas na déisigan sa Tranhóna.
Yeah, cinnte agus Micheál Mullins a ríis cosúla anna cosúla Hugh O'Connor cá mé rá an Berta có veng tóca taklisteach ón Dave Lína comá.
Se tar dóg sé to get Johnny Murphy and so agus san Eden Lodger a chur benna Conor chun Páirc sé sin bhharrta dhéanamh agus na tosar fad Brian Roach na measc féidir tres go ráil lu go leor sa chléthe agus féidir an nuachtar chuna féirnín sin go leor ógánach atá fálam na céirde ag Portláirge a Páirc seo ógánach churcaí William Buckley ar brunach an gradam lecht na himre achan ar ide bhí lechre fuit na háte.
Bhí like idir Rob Downey bhí sé Gannis an sin ar lína lechúil. Bhí Dara Fitzgibbon an bhas céad le trí chúlín fight ag Shane Barrett bhí sé rose, Declan Dalton rose, Diarmid Healy comá ach just bhí dinner bit, bhí ar fadar out. Hart ar den or difriúla scoráil comá.
Well, bhí sé sa ghaileh an teachtain sa chuún fuin gandát a chail an son a réir agus beag gara áirthe sa chóraach san na ddíring. Ní fláinú tá Ben O'Connor agus a chuid brás ásta agus iad a ceiliúr an son trí fethe cúige Corcaig héana seachtaíag ag Portláirge. Chútaríist a gara.
Alan Connolly and Chaoimh County. Alan, you must be delighted with that performance. Your goal probably finished it as a contest very early on.
Yeah, we had a very strong start, and I think it's the first game back really, so it wasn't perfect, but look, there's lots of things to work on, and yeah, look, there's loads of positives there as well. So.
Absolutely, as you say, games will come thick and fast now. What will the focus be on during the week when you return to training?
Recovery anyway, first of all, but tomorrow night in the gym, that's our next step. We're not looking at next week yet. We'll look at tomorrow now. We'll review the game, and yeah, we'll look forward for the week now, building up to the next game.
Thanks very much.
Tá William Buckley round the lecht na himmer. William, a debut here today in the league, and a nice way to finish it with a goal and the Man of the Match award.
Yeah, no, it was great, obviously, to get off to a winning start. We've been doing a lot of tough running now for the last 2 or 3 months, so it's great to actually get out and express ourselves here and play with freedom. So it was great to get a win.
I'm sure the team was champing at the bit. A new season, a new manager, and just to get going again.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it's all about, getting going. There's so many fellas here that want to push on because the last few years, the journey the lads have taken us on, there's so much experience in there, and we're just hoping that us new fellas can just help them push on and hopefully do our bit to help that as well.
You probably know Ben O'Connor better than some of the more experienced lads, having been on that team that won the Under-20 All-Ireland. Yeah. In terms of the dressing room and in terms of what he's trying to instill in the players, how would you describe it?
It's brilliant, to be honest. Like Ben, I've known him since the first year of 20s. He's been excellent with us. He pushes us, he pushes us very hard, in fairness, that kind of running game and working, like it all comes down to work rate with him. If you don't work, you won't get the jersey, so the hurling looks after itself after that. So he pushed us very hard, and that's exactly it. We saw how hard we worked today, and that's what he's really pushing into us.
I think he said at the start of the week he wanted to win with the touch of class. We got a bit of a touch of class and some lovely scores today. I mean, do you think as a forward that the setup that you're going to have will suit the likes of yourselves in, let's face it, tougher tests ahead?
Yeah, I know they're like ourselves in Waterford, it's only our first day out, but as you said, that's the Ben says, he says play with freedom, as I said, first of all, you have to work hard, but after that you can express yourself, and you saw it there today. We kind of really played with freedom and get popping the ball to the best position, so yeah, it's a joy to play with any team like that.
William, well done.
Cheers, thanks very much.
Vi sier sin nuver kunna beg lehentele bi kinte gasan agus an arire o hosach on geed neumut vi Corcaig harve efachtig en so Tranhone agus de leeg Dalton grefsje a mochige dus een geed score agus vi sé tachtach on onad mar lá tasayin son agus vi sé harve crane is on gewoor Corcaig en geed descore beter as a chéle agus an mask vi William Buckley en son churin score so Cúig le héan chun tosa géad tháinig cúil níorhada in the Eabhaigh sin cruthaige Declan Dalton críochnaithe Alan Connolly and son agus is a snáb an agasa a bhí na déisiig cé raibh le héadí Dara Lyons agus Jamie Barnell líamachar a hénig Cercalór agus bhíidir gomachan Derek Mátá ag an brise Diarmid Healy leis sa chéad le bhí sé siúd a géimsiú na sprice go rialta mar sin sa tarna le tháinig Cool and son on Buck Erika, the Portláirge, we fragra Lord, Shane Bennett, the cool Portláirge, again left name William Buckley, the Corcaig, Sichid Gluishacht Island son, Agus the Croiche, score on the Ashoma, Agus Edith Lune, Achvi, on Nimmert Erika Huluch to get Corcaig Tranhone, Agus Anna Hadir Dina score like William Buckley, Agus Declan Dalton, Lehena Care on dinner.
Tá banistóir na fórna Ben O'Connor and Shara Dave Lee. Ben, you would have looked at this game, I suppose, from an awful long way out when you were brought in as the Cork manager. How would you describe the performance today?
Yeah, sure. I suppose you have to be happy with the with the scoreline 3-25, you don't get it too many days, and I suppose a good performance out of the lads. But look, it's no harm to get the first one out of the way. I know there's a lot of talk about this coming on. That's the start of the year for us now, and we hope to build on that.
There'll be tougher challenges ahead, of course, but the way that you started the game, 10 points to 1 up after no time, and I think you'd no wides in that spell. I mean, you must have been surprised, especially because a lot of the fellas haven't hurled at any level since the All-Ireland final, say.
Yeah, but we were lucky enough. We got in here last Saturday for an A versus B match. So, like, we've been training in Páirc and we've been training in Páirc, and the surfaces there have been good as well. But it's a different kettle of fish when you come in here. This place is fairly lively, so we were lucky enough to get that last Saturday. So we knew that it was going to be fast, and the boys were ready for that. And we asked them for a good start, and that's exactly what we got. I suppose no wide in that period was one of the positives. But I suppose after that, then with a few pop shots when we were well ahead, that we wouldn't be too happy with.
Yeah, you had a fair few wides. I think you had 12 wides, if not 13, over the hour and 10 minutes. I suppose they're small things, though. Is there a lot of work still to do, do you think?
Yeah, I suppose when you're ahead so much there as well, fellas are trying to get maybe the name on the paper for tomorrow morning. So I suppose, look, it's just something we have to work on. But if you new fellas going in as well want to make a name for themselves. But look, overall, we're delighted with the performance out of the boys and the attitude they've been showing in training. And it's just onwards and upwards for next week now above in Salthill.
I was just going to say, it's Salthill next Saturday against Galway in their home patch. It'll be, you'd imagine, a much tougher test than you had today?
Oh yeah, you'd imagine so. Above there as well, travel up as well, so with the home crowd here behind us tonight, and we've travel up there next Saturday night now as well. But look, these are the games we want to be involved in, and we're looking forward to that as well.
Sure, Donald, there's a question.
Yeah, different surface up there now, Ben. You know, a smaller pitch maybe like that. Is it going to create any difficulties for us?
Yeah, sure, of course. We're going to have to change up a small little bit, I suppose, to suit that as well. Like the ball, as you see, the ball hops here and it's travelling on 20 yards above in Salthill. I suppose it'll be sticky a bit more, the same as it was in Thurles last night. But look, that's just time of year with just that as well.
Yeah, and it was handy having the newcomers today. You know, they had a good, solid foundation, if you like, with the 10 players that were, the 10, we'd say, experienced players. But that makes it easier for them then, doesn't it?
Yeah, I suppose we went down to Limerick a few weeks ago in a Munster League match, and we fired in 15 reasonably newcomers, and we see where that got us. It's nice to be able to throw in the few newcomers with the experienced fellas, and then we were able to get a couple of subs in as well, get a bit of game time under them as well. Like, so that'll keep things hot and heavy at training for the week.
Yeah, and games coming thick and fast, Ben, between Fitzgibbon Cup and league games and everything else. How are you going to manage the load over the next couple of weeks?
Yeah, it's Ian Jones, our strength and conditioning man, is in charge of all of that. And in fairness, we didn't pick up any injuries there, any serious injuries, with 3 or 4 dead legs. And look, I suppose the Fitzgibbon lads are out on Wednesday as well, so Owen Downey is out today because he played last Thursday and he's next Wednesday again. So we're managing fellas that way. We don't want to be flying the fellas all the time, all the good fellas.
And would you say, Ben, are you going all out for the league, or are you going to just take it match by match?
We're out to win every game, Donald. That's where we've this one marked off now, and we'll go up to Galway next weekend to win that match as well.
And that's exactly as I'd expected from you.
Yeah.
Ben, just a final one. I suppose you've had probably no end of people who are giving you a bit of advice along the way as to how to get Cork back on track. You had a big crowd, over 20,000 here today. Do you feel now that, what would you be asking of the Cork public, maybe in terms of, say, patience, because there'll be a little bit of patience required to get things, I presume, to the level that you want them?
Yeah, look, I suppose, look, you see what the boys came up with there today. They've been training very hard, and I suppose just take it easy and don't be putting too much pressure on them. There's a long year there yet, but look, we've this one under the belt, and we'll drive on next Saturday night now again. But them fellas, like, if you see what they put themselves through a trade, and I'm sure it's the same in every other county, like, so every other county is going to be the same as that. But look, give them a chance to settle down.
Yeah, do you think they have a point to prove, though, Ben? Like, there's a lot of, obviously, hurt and disappointment from last year.
No, I don't think they have any point to prove. This is 2026. We can't do anything about what has gone on before this. If you're dealing with these fellas, you see how professional they are. Every one of them are a gentleman. So I don't think they've anything to prove. If they do, it's only to themselves.
Okay, Mahu. Calculor Marshin. So, Sinead, right, Tabiok nach Krichtenta going. I mean, don't listen, Caddis Fader, Togan, that's a Glehesha, they've Corkig, Bua Viaun, big I mean, Kunstack and Avadni Smo Mac Rump and
Yeah, but man dort me river clear Mike on Lud Bahak either Cork enough na on Bua.
Yeah.
But come off in Taspantus, Bach, Hookshi Taspantus, Fear Vasa Head Lands on another Vion, or score on through August machine there right on Cake Count, a Vokant. Also, they're going to bring Count Derrig of Yakona, Kailun, so big sheet law and sauce solution.
Anna Hoss, the Kerachulin Dag Marshin, the Verna, Ida Naforna, and Shotranona, and Yov, Agus, well, Cohordas, the Corkig, near Port Loriga, Gama, Big Peter Queely, Boer, Fishin, Aka Caddis Fader, and Jack O'Connor Marshin, Agus Kiri, Turdaig, Tranona, Russ, come on, David Clifford's a deal at Dovson, Agus the soil, like Leshin Kate, Boer Straha, all Tranona, and Yov, and marked out and banished or Nua, Russ, come on, Agus Began Clash in the going straight to the Bogri.
It's Cork versus Waterford on the banks of the River Lee in Super Value Páirc Chaoimh in the opening round for these two counties of the Allianz National Hurling League. A crowd of approximately 22,000 is expected here in this wonderful venue. Shows you the volume of support there is, particularly for the Cork hurlers. Both stands sold out last night at 11 o'clock. Terraces then had to be put up and available for the fans. Here comes Cork with Declan Dalton in the very first attack, and that is flying between the posts and over the bar. Great start for the Rebels. Waterford come away with it. Farah's that great-hearted player Jamie Barrett. Jamie from the middle of the pitch sends it straight between the posts and over the bar. That's a very good score. Mark Coleman, Shane Barrett. Back, of course, towards Dermot Healy, picked up by Niall O'Leary. I'm not too sure he should be at up in the forwards, but that's where he is. He feeds Shane Barrett from the south side stand, right in front of it. Billy Nolan trying to find Jamie Barrett, making an angle for himself, and that's a very good score, Jamie. Second point of the match for the 4 Mile Water clubman. Sean O'Donoghue. Brian Roach goes back to gather it. Looking around for the support. Back to Sean O'Donoghue. Declan Dalton is the target, and there's more trouble with a capital T for Waterford. Dalton into the centre. Just a little touch. Just a magical goal. Alan Connolly combining with Declan Dalton. Waterford are in deep, deep trouble. Waterford win the possession down by the corner flag. Back into the middle. That's a good ball, actually. Towards Darragh Lyons. Under pressure, being kept outside the 40-metre arc. He did rather well. Breaking ball, picked up nicely by Dermot Healy. Ball inside towards Brian Roach. On the 20, the 13, he's pulled out. The referee is indicating a penalty. The referee wants to have a word with Mark Fitzgerald. That's a black card. Waterford's troubles are deteriorating and getting worse by the minute. Penalty is the decision. Dalton against Nolan. Declan against Billy. And he crashes it into the back of the net. No question whatsoever. Just watch this. Cork winning the 50-50 ball, but then giving it away. Opportunity coming for Waterford, and that is over the bar. Well won, hard earned. Declan Dalton sends it into the middle towards Shane Barrett. Mark Coleman, with great understanding, the two Blarney boys, to be fair. Coleman hitting the slither, bouncing it off the ground, despite the fact that it's January 25th, and putting that between the post and over the bar. Laying it off for is Shane Bennett. This is better from Waterford. Good work by Ruben Halloran, and he is pulled out. And the referee could well be showing a black card here. And he's going to have a word, consult with his umpires, which is always a good thing, I think, because it gives a different perspective from a different angle. Book is going to be taken out. Book has been taken out. And Robert Downey is shown a black card. And a penalty is given to Waterford. But it's a big opportunity for Shane Bennett from Ballysaggart, taking on Patrick Collins from Ballinhassig. And Ballysaggart wins. Cracking goal by Shane Bennett to the back of the Cork net, and gives Waterford just a little bit of hope. Cork have it. Opportunity looming. Can they crack the back of the net? Here comes the shot. Well, the referee had blown the whistle, I think, but he's allowing the score. Beautiful combination here by the Cork forwards. Hefty challenge with the one hand. It's William Buckley. Advantage given, goal scored. Willie is the man. Billy Nolan again trying to grab any few extra meters. Waterford get the lucky break, and they get the score. Good work by Waterford. Kept the pressure on. Picked up by Ruben Holleran. They need to try and create a goal, but he's going for the point. That's a very good effort by Ruben Holleran. 13 points he's now scored. Mark Coleman giving it and getting it back. Flinging this between the posts and over the bar. Good score. Simplicity in motion. The full-time whistle blows in Páirc on a day when Cork were the masters. They controlled it from the throw-in at 20-4 this afternoon. For Waterford, it was not their day. Full-time score, Cork 3 goals, 25 points. Waterford 1 goal and 17.
There's probably been a lot of talk about how we're going to perform this year and stuff, so we wanted to kind of put our best foot forward really and see where that took us, and I think it was a good performance, so we're happy out.
Blessed with the day we had with the sunshine as well. The field was immaculate, so it all played into for a fast game, and we were looking up from a fast start, and I suppose it was the groundwork was done early in the game.
I felt the game was lost for us in the first 15 minutes. We just didn't apply enough pressure to Cork. Stood off them too much, especially around the middle third, and you can't stand off a team like Cork. They'll really punish you as they did today. So in fairness, the lads hung in after that. But the win and losing the game was probably that first 15-20 minutes.
But we have to start with Cork and their new manager. A man you both know well in different ways, I would imagine. What can you tell us about Ben O'Connor Donald?
Can I tell you about that's not already known? I think that...
I'd say plenty. Please do.
Ben is he had very high standards. Really always a hard worker. He was always a hard worker. I know there's been a lot of talk about how hard Cork have been training over the last while. That's not surprising, but he's a really healthy balance between skill as well. The main thing for Ben O'Connor was he was always skilled. He's got good experience now from a management point of view. Obviously, he coached Middleton to win the Senior Hurling Championship, won with the Cork under-20s and All-Ireland. His father was always big into training as well. Bernie, brilliant coach, so he comes from a good pedigree. He doesn't suffer fools wisely.
No.
Even thinking about him after the game there today, Ben will know that really, it was a nice way for Ben to start, but I'd say he won't put much more thought into the game, given the way that Waterford played.
From the outside, he seems a very different type of character to Pat Ryan.
I wouldn't always judge a book by its cover. I think that, Pat Ryan has a really strong foundation left there for Ben. The challenge for Ben now is, can he, like every year, like when Pat Ryan took over, can he take it to the next level? Obviously, what happened in the All-Ireland final was a big blow to Cork. Obviously, playing a lot of times for Cork, always felt really bad after a game. I didn't feel as bad after a game since I was actually playing myself, and it was a huge blow. But you have to get on with it. You have to accept it. It's a new year, like Ben said. You've also to keep in mind that Cork won tight games last year. They beat Limerick in a Munster final. That went down to the wire, went down to penalties where there was huge pressure. A lot of teams folded against that Limerick team over the last number of years. So Pat Ryan has left a really strong foundations, and in Ben and Ronan Curran, I would say they're in safe hands.
Let's have a look at things they may be working on, because we realise it's very, very early. If we go back to this new and old-ish that he's sort of brought in today.
Yeah, and I think we spoke a lot last year about the full forward line, and obviously Patrick Horgan has left, but today again that full forward line ends up with 3-10, and William Buckley came into the team, St. Finbarr's man. We haven't seen much of him. Donald obviously knows a bit about him. Scored 1-4, one man of the match. And Declan Dalton, interestingly, we've seen him play full forward before, but more on the wing. But he was exceptional that first 20 minutes when the match was a match. After that, it wasn't. And as I said, that was a big plus for him. Obviously, Connolly's there. I was captain today. And again, William Buckley, as I said, just was very good. And I just think this penalty just shows me everything about Cork hurling and Declan Dalton. Just look at this angle. It was just every young lad at home and the young girl at home is thinking top pins, and here it was. So it was just brilliant. So look, Cork left off where we've seen a lot of last season. You know, they were just brilliant. 3 inside, 3 deep. And as well, I must say, Páirc Chaoimh obviously plays into that game. Like Mark Coleman went down at one stage and hopped the ball off the ground. There was no other ground in the country where you were allowed to hop the ball off the ground and back into his hands. So, but look, they were so entertaining again. Some of the scores they got, and 3-10 from that full forward line, you know, was very good.
He was giving you an awful time all afternoon. He's pretending now that he wasn't, but he was. But it's one thing talking about how good Cork looked, but how poor were Waterford, and why?
Has to be said, like, the game was over after 10 minutes. I think Peter Queally there said that. There seemed to be no physical contact at all from Waterford. Like, it was great to see the Cork forwards. Dalton was outstanding. He's a brilliant striker, but it's very rare from a scoring zone like that you get an opportunity at this level to plant your feet. Normally you're striking the ball on the run. And we could have picked loads of examples like this. Again, look at the space. Like, nobody coming near him, and this was the way it was all afternoon. Handy pass on to William Buckley. It was like a training match. So back to my original point that I was making, you can be sure Ben O'Connor, it was a nice start. But I actually last weekend I watched the Waterford and Cork game from last year, and that game was tight enough down in Páirc Chaoimh, and you can be sure when Cork play Waterford later on in the championship, it'll be a totally different Waterford team.
Well, it needs to be, Henry.
Oh yeah, and I think, you know, we're probably making the full backline look very poor there because they're standing off. But as well as that, Robert Downey was standing in the middle all on his own. So it was a collective thing, and I think Peter Queally remarked on it. There was no contact whatsoever. So we're both coaching young lads at the moment, and you have to get contact. And they were standing off, and if you stand off Cork, they're just going to hurt you so much. So it was a big eye opener, I imagine, for Peter Queally, and it's not a good way to start the league. I suppose the Gunner players to come back in. Caelan Alauder was back on today as well. Caelan Lyons, sorry. And so those players coming back into will hope, but it's a bad start for them.
And you made a really good point about the field. I wouldn't underestimate the difference in that either. Like, Waterford have been playing in the Winter League in mud, even puck out, stuff like that. We were talking about it today. Yeah. The difference between the amount of time it gives for half hours to get back when you're playing in a heavy field versus what we see in Páirc Chaoimh today. That was a huge factor. And Ben O'Connor did touch on that as well. The Cork played on that field last week. So that was a big factor. Also, Cork's coach from last year is with Waterford, so a lot of that shouldn't be a surprise either.
There were big decisions in that game as well. Now, hurling referees are regularly accused of forgetting that the black card penalty rule exists. Not the case in this game.
Well, the black card was brought in for good reason, but for some reason we haven't seen it over the last while. But today, to be fair to Johnny Murphy, I think he got it right. So you see here, straight away with Cork, Brian Roach going through, Mark Fitzgerald comes across. This is why the rule was brought in. It was definitely a goal-scoring opportunity. And again, Waterford were under pressure at the time, but fair play to Johnny Murphy, took the right decision. Almost like a replica, even though you could argue that there was more covering defenders. But Rob Downey here, it's really interesting to observe, because of the GA's refusal to deal with the tackle and so on, what's actually come into the game is the forwards bringing down players, but Rob was asking for trouble in that situation. It's definitely a watch out for Cork this year.
Yeah, I just want to come in the red card. I think we just showed Caelan Lyons there, got in a tangle with Owen Roach, and he pulled off the strap. Sean Welch came in after that, and there was a little bit of a tangling together. I know you're looking at the rule book, Joanne, you're going to come back to me on it, but to be fair to Sean Welch, who actually played fairly well, he kind of got in a tangle with Owen Rudge, and I think because the helmet was loose, it popped off pretty easily. Over to you.
Well, no, I was just going to say, what it says is to deliberately pull on or take hold of. So you saying he didn't deliberately do it?
I think it's deliberate, because Johnny Murphy did then show the incident where he was pulling the face guard and popped it off. To be fair, I think it was loose. I know I'm going to be accused of being soft.
Was it loose or was it deliberate? Which is the...
No, I think the helmet was loose from the first instance.
The helmet was loose. So you don't think it was a deliberate...
I don't think so. I think he was unlucky if he gets a suspension on the back of that.
OK. Tell us about what we saw from Offaly today, because we will talk about Kilkenny in a moment, but for Offaly to pull them that close on the return to the top flight. Yeah,
there was nip or tuck, like it was 2 or 3 points in it. Kilkenny had a couple of goal chances right near the end, but to be fair to Offaly, I think they got a lot of bodies back. They worked it short. We know they've lovely underage hurlers that are now starting to step into the senior. And I think they'd be quite happy by going home on the bus this evening, because they performed pretty well. And I think they worked extremely hard, to be fair. So I think they'd be happy. It's a big step up, Division 1A. But I think they'll feel some way confident heading into the rest of the campaign.
OK, Kilkenny, we've been talking for years about their issues or otherwise at 6, but you're now actually going to take us through nearly the entire spine of the team, because obviously we've no Hugh Lawler now in the Kilkenny side.
I think Richie Reid has been harshly done by, being 6, to be fair, to be truthful, and I think he played very well for Ballyhale this year in the club championship. But obviously Hugh Lawler stepped out now, and they're going to see about 3 and 6. And obviously the start of the season, Mikey Carey's back there. Similarly, he's very explosive, has very good going forward, and he's stepping into that 3 role. Dara Corkin had a very good club campaign and has gone in 6, and these two have anchored the defence so far. And it'll be interesting to see how both of them progress during the rest of the league. This obviously is a big one down locally in Kilkenny. Owen Cody has gone out to the number 11 jersey. Again, as you can see, for that number 6 position where you can sit in the pocket, he will provide different challenges.
That's going to be a feature across the board, right?
Absolutely. But there he was in the pocket, put it over the bar. Here he is breaking onto the ball. He can easily take the point. No, he creates the goal. So he is going to have a big say in Kilkenny's progress this year. But I said, from that point of view, how Mikey, Dara, and I imagine they're going to give them a few games, and rightly so, and give them a real lash at it. And then you have Richie Reid, Paddy Deegan, David Blanchfield to come back into that mix and add support and cast to that spine of the team.
And now we really are going to go to last night's live game in RT, which was the All-Ireland champions tipper.